And we have lift-off on Scottish National Day here on Racing Post Live with our sponsors Betfair along the way to steer you with 8 races coming your way. 3:35 is the biggie. There's non-runners all over the place today. A lack of rain again, isn't it? We're going to Newbury as well, where that has been particularly hit. Let's see if we can find you a bit of profit before we head to Aintree next week. There's a real celebration feel. Cheltenham now done and dusted, well in the rearview mirrors. It was Lincoln Day last weekend. What fun we had, but back jumping we are. Let's hear from you out there. This is your interactive show throughout the afternoon. You can get involved, of course, on YouTube. If you're watching on that, you subscribe and you like, and you can get involved in the chat. Let us know you're out there. Let us know your naps. What wins the Grand National next week? Let's have it all. Of course, if you're on Facebook Live, welcome along to the party. Ramp up that chat for us today. 8 races, fast and furious, and anything on Twitter is hashtag RP Live. Right, who have I got with me today then? We've asked him back, somehow. Robbie Wilders is with us. Wilders, the latest tipping machine gun.
Thanks very much, yeah.
At the Racing Post.
I've smartened up this time. You told me to wear a collar last time I was on.
Yeah, listen, feedback is everything in this
take it
game.
on board. I might take this off later. It's quite hot in this studio, but...
Well, OK, let's see how your tipping goes first, all right? And we'll judge you on that. Great to have you back, Rob. Is this a day you like? Is this...
Yeah, I do like this day. There's a lot going on. There's also a very good flat card at Leopardstown as well, but... we won't really be looking into that as much. But
well,
I do enjoy myself on this Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of people talking actually about why there's no flat card in Britain today. But look, I quite like it, the way it's fallen, of course, because of Easter, the way it is in the middle of, of April. We've now got the Scottish Grand National for the first time ever. I think it's first time ever, before the Grand National as well. Let us know what you think about that. But I quite like it for 1 year, Scottish, English, and then Irish Grand National. The anti-postman.
Indeed.
Which is going to make it a bit tricky because we've never had 2 posties on here before. But there is, joining us back, Charlie Post, our brother from another mother. You're looking sharp and ready to go, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm absolutely revved for today, yeah.
How's
good
life?
Day's racing. Life's really good, yeah.
You've been selling those horses, have you?
Yeah, we had a very good Cheltenham.
You've got a little glint in his eye there, isn't he?
Keep the wolf from the door for a bit longer.
You'll be buying the Dom Perignon after tonight's show, will you?
You told me you're taking me for a beer, so I am gonna hold you to that.
But in all fairness, the point-to-points, England and Ireland, it's all come back. Everyone's loving being out there again, aren't they? And it's going well.
Yeah, it's going really well. You had a good day last weekend, didn't you? It was a shame I couldn't join you.
Yeah, I saw a lot of match races at my local point-to-point. I didn't do enough water.
I told you Maysmore would be the place to go for the better
Where you
action.
had a winner and I should have gone.
Yeah.
And you're going tomorrow?
Edgecote, so just down the road from Banbury. Is
that your local course?
One of them, but
Brilliant.
I spent a lot of time there.
Have you got any good things there? Because anyone in the local area? Yes.
Well, I don't know.
You said yes.
Yeah, I do. We got a 4-year-old that we think get an awful lot of called Also Known As. So, whatever happens tomorrow, and I hope he wins because he'll go to the entry sale after it. But I think he's also the bright future.
That's where you're actually hoping to put on another 0.
Yeah. The nap of the day though is Cap Royale in the first.
Is it? Oh, the horse that I never got right, the grey.
Will win.
Love it. If you're anywhere near the southern area tomorrow, get down and see Posty tomorrow. Right, who else joins us pressing the buttons for Betfair today? She's back. It's Kate Tracy, who had some Cheltenham.
Yeah, really surreal Cheltenham actually, but great to be back here anyway. So yeah, I feel sort of in my comfort zone now. 2
machines, you're used to this gig, aren't you?
Yeah, two machines, a phone, everything is going on here. So yeah,
winners?
Looking forward to it. Hopefully. I mean, trappy enough contest. I need to keep an eye on the non-runners at Newbury as well throughout the day. But yeah, excited for today. It's sort of got a back end of the year, sort of, last day of school kind of vibe at the minute, hasn't it, for jump racing? It's got a lot of fun feel about it.
Well, we're delighted you're back, and another man that will be thrilled that you're pressing the buttons because he's got his favourites. It's Barry Orr. Let's beam into Dublin.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Good to see a full studio. Robbie Wilder back, the postman. The anti-postman, to give him his correct title.
I can actually hear Barry this time. Couldn't last time.
Well,
that
mightn't be much benefit to you today now, Robbie, but we'll see.
And I think vice versa, Barry. But again, listen, let's get it out for the top of the show. If you're new to the show, Barry's going to give you a selection and a trade on the exchange in every single race, but we're showcasing the sportsbook as well, Barry. Have we got a lucky 15 for the punters to get stuck into?
Yeah, like you say, Dave, we're showcasing the functionality of the exchange and the sportsbook. You can set your own odds on the exchange and you can be a backer or a layer, all the great things there. And then obviously over on the sportsbook where we have today 11 races alone, we've enhanced place terms on the sportsbook. Obviously the big race itself, 6 places on the Betfair Sportsbook and just so much going on there as well. And the 150, it's our money back special race. If your horse fails to finish in the first 3, you get your cash back as a free bet up to a tenner. So watch out for that as well. Great offer to avail in that 150 where it's the dead 8 now as well. So You see there in the graphic, a great graphic that you guys have done up. Well, look at that. Money back is a free bet if your horse fails to place. So even I can't get it wrong now once I'm reading that. It looks great.
It's a help, isn't it, Barry? I'm not going to lie.
It's a massive help, yeah. When you're a bit thick like me, it's always good to have these prompts. But anyway, we're going to have a lucky 15. Everything we do is just to showcase the functionality, like we said, of Exchange and Sportsbook, and bet responsibly is the message. Obviously, any winnings that we get today goes to charity. Charity of the choice for this month is the Injured Jockeys Fund, I believe. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct.
The guys on
yeah,
Injured Jockeys Fund. So we're going to have a lucky 15 to kick off the card, please, Kate. In the 150, now, where or when? That's the money back special race over from Ireland. I think that'll run a really big race, 20-1, the Rag of the Field. So it'd be nice to get that even place to begin our lucky 15. And the 225 Ayr again, Anna Bonina, picked up an injury at this meeting last year. Hasn't really been herself, but showed a return to form last day. I think she has a big chance in the feature race at 335. Then I'm going Dundee, Major Dundee. I think Step Up and Trip, a young horse, not many miles on the clock. If he gets into a good jumping rhythm, he'll definitely be there or thereabouts. And then over in the 210 in Newbury, Bermeo, going to put that in as our last leg, around a 7-2 chance. So quid each way, lucky 15. That's 15 bets in total, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles. We're going to do it for a quid each way. So 15 bets for a quid each way. It's going to cost us 30 quid. I think it gets us a little over 11 grand if they all win. But hopefully we'll get a couple of the juicy ones placed, and we'll get a few quid for the Injured Jockeys Fund.
It was all going so well there, Kate. It was like...
I've seen that error message before.
I've got my bets. Yeah, I'm going to have to... Yeah. I'll look into that then.
It's on. There it is. You can see the bottom of the corner down there. Look, Barry's lucky 15. It's a whopper, isn't it? Major Dundee has been a steamer in that. I'm hoping that Barry has a good day because I like 2 of those selections as well. We'll warm up when we get nearer the time. Right, they're coming out onto the... Oh, it looked glorious at Ayr, doesn't it? This time last year, do you remember? Oh my Lord, was it just a certain amount of owners could go, and yet the Tesco's next to it was absolutely rammed, wasn't it? And all the racing Twitter quite rightly took pictures of it and went mental. Oh, we're back.
Every little helps, or whatever.
Every little helps, yeah. Well, no, not quite. Very close. So let's go down then, because we've got, around about 5 minutes to this. Now, we have a market leader here, Barry, who we saw, if you remember, after the Lord's Mayor's show, we covered Kempton, the first race or second race. Sebastopol, absolutely hosed up, but he's a monkey, isn't he?
3.5. He traded 101 on a couple of runs ago in Kempton. Now, he fell at the last. He was going to win that day, but he burnt fingers in running. He's 3.5. So bang on 5-2. 5 Malistic. Golden Bois is 6.4. 9 Seo, and it's 14 bar. 2 non-runners here. Dubai Days, a horse I was given a chance to. And Coach Carter, Gordon Elliott's charge, is also a non-runner. It's the dead 8 for each way bettors on the sports book. It's 3 places. So that's keep an eye on that. Obviously, Sebastopol, he won last day, Dave. I thought the race fell to pieces. Rockstar Ronnie never went a yard, if you recall. The runner-up, Golden Boy Gray, didn't jump that great. And he's probably a little bit flattered in winning what I thought was a relatively poor race. And he's gone up £8 for that as well. So he races off 144 here. I think he's a lay. Although we could have laid him earlier at 2.61. He was that short, would you believe? But he's out to 3.5 now. He's 5-2. But just to showcase the functionality of the exchange, we're going to be a layer here, Kate. So over to the pink side at 3.5. Happy to be a price taker there because he is just sliding out ever so much. So we're going to take 50 quid of the backer stake hit from that at 3.5, which is 5-2. So to lose 112 and a half.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Listen, I'll be with you. He's one of my lays of the day. It's going to be one of these, are you a forgiving person? Do you think that these horses get the confidence boost? And he hardly had a race. But Kate, let's come to you because you actually are in the Sebastopol camp.
Yeah, I am. And believe it or not, I'm kind of kicking myself the fact I am because he's a horse who I do not trust. I don't trust implicitly, but I'm hoping all came right for him last time out then in the first time visor. Now, don't be kidded into thinking it was a first time visor, severe headgear. It was a drop back down from blinkers. And he did run pretty well in first time blinkers first time up, finishing second, and then he sort of went backwards from then. So that is a bit of a concern if it's going to work this time around. But to be honest, with the £8 rise, I just don't think it'll stop him here. I have doubts about the others. Malistic's been a talking horse, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he jumped very well in the main. That was quite a nasty unseat at Doncaster last time out. And from the horses that come here in any sort of form, I just think Sebastopol is very well treated here.
1 for, 1 against. Who are you with? So look, if that's not confused you, I don't know. And it's interesting to hear from the horsewoman amongst us, of course, that perhaps the headgear we shouldn't be concentrating too much. Let's go to the horseman. Still call you that, can't we, I suppose? Now, are we with Sebastopol or?
No. I don't like the sire. I'm not convinced they're in love with jumping, full stop, fame and glories.
You've got a big thing about this, haven't you?
Yeah,
it's
I
interesting
have, yeah.
when Poste's on,
Yeah.
isn't it? We have this sire can't jump.
And look, I respect the trainer, jockey combination. Had a brilliant season, Tom Lacey, Stan Shepherd. And yeah, if the Kempton form is to be believed, then he's a major player in here. Because Kate said about horses coming into here in form, and that account, there's about 2 of them.
Yeah.
This isn't a race with a lot of depth. For me, I'm going with Melistic, just on the fact that you go back to the All Mankind form last year, Prashima, things like that, you know, as in, I just think he was travelling all right when he unseated behind Bundaran.
3 for Melistic.
Yeah.
Let's get this out of the way because they're getting close.
I like Melistic.
Yeah.
As Charlie was saying, travelling really well in that Grade 2 Ayr on this card last time. Just didn't get home over 2 mile, 4.5 furlongs.
It's not deja vu with me and you doing this. We've done a few features.
We know what the other one's going to say, basically.
We do, which is very scary with someone like you,
I think Melistic should be a little bit shorter for me.
Okay.
Particularly with the 2 horses coming out as well. The Dubai Days has come out. He was shorter than Melistic. So
yeah, he didn't get round yesterday, did we? We were wondering. Coach Carter is the other non-runner. But there's a bit of pace in here. Gold Des Bois for Raymond Anderson Green, of course, who until Mighty Thunder last year was the last Scottish winner of the National with Merigo. I wasn't going to do that. Merigo. Not Merigo. Nat Green's put it into my mind that it's not Merigo, it's Merigo. And Gold Des Bois, they think might actually go quite close here. I think they do. They're all up there having a big party. And they've got some runners on the card. I can tell you that Castle Bourne in the 4:45 may look a big prize. But if first run for Lucinda Russell for Ray Anderson Green, that is fancy to go well. There you go, something after we go off air you might want to have a bit of fun with if you go through the card. That's the dream, isn't it? As we head into this first race to 1:15. Barry, we've been talking then, the tips are done. What price is this fab actually going to go off?
Yeah, well, at the moment, currently trading at 305, so a little over 2 to 1. 5.3 Melistic, 6.6 Gold Des Bois, which is 11 to 2. Sale, bang on, 8 to 1, and it's 14 bar. Return ticket, some money for that. Sean Quinlan in the plate there, return ticket. It's 14 now, Dave. So that was as big as around the 16 mark earlier on. So 32 quid at 17, 16 to 1. So a few quid for that.
He's interesting, Barry, because he'll bounce off the ground. He's had a winter break. Rebecca Menzies, ever such a good trainer, isn't she?
Yeah, Some Rain really doesn't want to go here.
Oh, for the Dobbins. Danny McMenamin on. Great season for Danny so far.
Touching with Raymond Anderson Green, had a very impressive win in the point-to-point bumper at Maysmore the other day called Patanita, chained by Georgie Nichols.
Didn't get that word.
It'd be worth, it wasn't for the notebook for people at home, because I'd imagine he'll go under rules now, and he was very impressive.
Yeah, I think Ray's hoping to have some good stock again coming over. So look, good luck everyone wherever you're playing. Let's see who is going to adopt a front run. It could be Gold Des Bois for the aforementioned famous Merigo colours. So I nearly did it again. Sebastopol, Melistic, where's he going to sit? Let's find out. Good luck then. First of 8, the dream is alive. Wherever you're going, welcome along to Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, joined by Robbie Wilders, Charlie Post, Kate Tracy, and of course Barry Orr, steering the ship for you for Betfair along the way. Let's have some fun. We can talk about Aintree a little bit later on. We've got a gap towards the end of the show.
They've gone without
Some Rain.
I think they've
gone without Some Rain. Okay, thanks
it's
Barry for that.
not going to change anything for Rule 4s though.
No, because it's 16 to 1,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, okay.
it's
So
a
we
big
don't
price.
have to worry about that too much. And right out the back is Sayo, the other Rebecca Menzies horse. Ex-Paul Nichols, very talented but very headstrong as well as we can see. And the well-back return ticket then. He likes to get on with it. Here we've got a battle for the lead here because Gold Des Bois is keeping him company, as is Ardera Cross, William Jung Jr., who loves to get on. Now, this is going to suit Sebastopol, guys, I think. Melistic's a little bit keen and Hatcherat as well. Oh, who's gone? Let's have a look. Oh, Sebastopol's gone at the very first. Oh, and Sayo's down as well. Absolute scenes at the first fence.
Fame and glory.
Fame and glory. Oh, don't go there, Posty. I think that's the first time he's capitulated, isn't it? Or one of them anyway. But that means...
No, he fell. He was 101 on the day. He fell in Kempton.
Did he? Okay, all right. Yeah, get it.
All of
Right,
us
Dave
Fame and
Orton.
glory thing, isn't it? I always say it's about fame and glories, and then I started with one, and that happened.
Can't backtrack now.
I know. I always say
live,
it's about
Kate.
fame and glories. I'm not a fan. They're scorpions in disguise in my mind.
Well, there we are. Listen, that's something
Good,
to keep your eye on, isn't it? It's what
Jockey's
you
all
get
right.
on this show, the inside track. But that means that Gold Des Bois, now they're settling down a bit. The clock's even gone over under that usual, oh, there it is, back up to 30 mile an hour. But they were absolutely trapping. Do you think it just caught him out a bit then, that first fence, Robbie?
I think so, yeah.
You're very intently looking at Melistic, Robbie Wilders.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing now that he's trading at about 6 to 4, so
Is that right?
We're on a decent price now.
Well, the main dangers in the market have obviously gone, so he had to crash down a bit. He's gone low then, Malistic, Barry.
Yeah, he's 2.36 now, so 11 to 8, 3.4 Gold de Bois, which is 5 to 2, 5.9 now. Hatcher, he's coming right into it. At Derek Cross, 27, 10.5 return ticket, 14 return ticket.
Okay, thanks,
It was
Barry.
the first fence in the straight Sebastopol went up. It
Yeah.
comes
Yeah,
at
that
them
was
very
causing-
quick off the bend.
Does it?
You
What are the
always wanna
fences
be
like
aware
at
of
Aintree? One of the guys at Gallery, Dan Walsh asked me about that
that.
earlier.
Well, Aintree next week or Ayr today?
No, not Aintree next week, yeah.
Just a big galloping track. They're nice fences to jump, but I mean, like that one off the bend is a trappy fence because they literally meet it not more than about 10 strides off the bend and it comes quickly.
But yesterday, at the races that fence was causing all sorts of carnage.
Was
wasn't
it?
In the middle of
It didn't stop the favourites winning there, did it? 7 favourites, of course. Malistic now pulled wide as Dare Across eyeballs Gold de Bois on the far side. Hatcher is getting a lovely toe, but you know, he's very high in the weights. Hatcher will find a return ticket.
Well,
Jumped up
Malistic
well.
got that on
That
run,
was a
didn't
little
it?
bit of a wash, so he must have
Little
gone up
bit.
a bit there, I'm assuming. Yeah, again, it's still solid fav. Look, they're right covered literally by a bucket of water at the moment. Can you call it, Posty?
Not right now. I mean, I'm quite happy with Malistic at the moment. You know,
Just
Brian
got to hunt
Hughes-
him round, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's done that. He's playing the percentages. He's pulled out wide. He's going to give him plenty of room to see the obstacles coming up now.
Kate, I must admit, you're pressing the mouse intently there. Are you getting involved?
I'm still just trying to see basically if the Lucky 15 actually went through with what I'm mainly clicking on, to be honest.
Very good, Kate. Housekeeping, loyal to Betfair as ever. All right, listen, OK, we're turning in. OK, let's see what this fence does second time around then. Gold de Bois just about in front. Actually looks like it's going the best. But return ticket and Sean Quinlan having a go. Ardira Cross looks like he might be about to crack. Malistic's cruising. Hatcher, has he got too much weight? All to play for then. Here we go. Coming up, what's this? 3 out usually at Ayr, isn't it, down home straight? Am I right, Posty?
4 out.
Four
Odds
out,
on
is it?
now. Odds
on Malistic. He's absolutely cruising. Don't forget, he only found All Mankind too good last time. He's ranging up. Gold de Bois done too much. He ranged to that one.
Ticket now. Return ticket's your favourite now.
Return ticket's gone, I think, isn't he, Robbie? Are we worried?
I think we're in deep trouble here.
We're in deep trouble. How many fences have we got to go? We've got to jump there,
good
Malistic.
jump.
He got it.
Oh,
Hatcher's
not landed
taken
well
a
at
fall
all,
there.
mate.
What a dramatic opener. Come on, Malistic. We
Stick
can
it
get
in.
this. Return
Malistic
ticket.
two's on there.
We've not seen him for a long time. All
Loads
on the
of time,
last
yeah,
end.
lads.
Up and we go. And it's a good jump from
Go on,
Malistic.
Brian.
Brian Hughes, what's he
Go on,
got?
Brian.
Sean Quinlan on his.
Go on,
Come on, Posty.
Taking
We're not
it
going to
in.
get
Doesn't
it.
want it,
Return
doesn't
ticket
want it.
doesn't want it. Oh, coming up to the line. Return ticket. He's going to land the
ticket.
gamble.
Wait, is it?
Oh, man. What a dramatic first race. We shall compose ourselves and give you some analysis. We've got one coming up at Newbury quickly, Barry, but my goodness gracious me, you flagged it before the off. Return takes the ticket.
Yeah, and he's a Betfair SP of 14.0, which is 13 to 1. Hard to believe, but your runner-up, Malistic, was odds on 1.50, 2 to 1 on jumping the last. You could have backed Malistic at around 2 to 1 against jumping the last. Can you believe that? Just couldn't get by him. Great ride from Sean Quinlan. Hopefully, I think all jockeys were up okay following their falls. But return ticket traded at a high in running of... no, he didn't trade higher than his Betfair SP in running at no stage. It was 32 quid matched at 16.95 in the exchange. You had your runner-up, Malistic, who traded at a low in running of 1.12, which is 8 to 1 on for 146 quid. That's the lowest he went to runner-up.
Wow. So what a dramatic race. Sebastopol departed. Everyone thought Malistic was going to get it, but they didn't count on the well-back return ticket not coming back to them. Are you going to pick yourself up off the floor?
That's annoyed me, yeah.
Well, look, you've got 7 more stabs.
We have. I had a tricky start last time, but I mean, hopefully it can turn around now. You have to say it was a very good training performance from Rebecca Menzies. That was return
She
tickets.
is very good. She was
First
Ferdy
start.
Murphy, wasn't she?
First start in 140 days to
Loves
get
the
into
ground.
Peak there.
I wonder whether he might have had
That's
enough
impressive.
weight on his back, but there we go. 2 horses came clear. Then let's hope the fallers are all right. Gold de Bois came on for third. For those of you, there was an each-way race, of course. I don't know. You said he didn't want it, Posty.
I'd like to see the head on. I didn't know if he was sort of shifting slightly left under pressure into return ticket.
It was giving him £8, wasn't he? So that.
And he might improve still for the run, mightn't he? I mean, like the first run at Doncaster after a long layoff, he unseated mid-race. Maybe he might improve again. Second
Problem
run,
is, where'd you go now? Perth,
Yeah.
something like that.
I'd say so.
Yeah, valuable
I
card.
mean, he doesn't always look the most natural over a fence, does he, either? You know, as in, what he could do to sharpen up a bit at times. He lands a bit flat at the back of his fences, and there's the odd guessy moment, second last there, and halfway down the back too, you know.
From Posty to the anti-postman, I'm sensing you're not going to give him another chance. You're livid, aren't you?
I'm not livid. You can't get too emotionally involved in these wagers. But
Trying to find some emotion
I did feel we were onto a decent bet there. especially when Sebastopol crashed
Well,
out.
that's the thing.
He
isn't
just
it?
couldn't.
All right.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure if he's putting it all in there for me.
Well, okay, fair enough. You have it. 2 came clear. Right, let's see if we can get back to winning ways in the 135 at Newbury. How many non-runners have we got in this, Kate Tracy? What are we up to now?
Four. Yeah.
So your partner, Kieran Gethins, is riding at Newbury today. How many non-runners has he got?
Three non-runners
Poor
today.
Kieran.
3 rides, 3 non-runners. He's
Not
trying
that far
take
to
it
go, though, is
personally.
it? So
No, to be fair. But then he didn't bring a house key with him earlier on today. So, yeah, he's had to go and find one of the lads who happens to have a spare key to then get back into the house to actually watch the racing today, because obviously I didn't leave the door open.
What happens with that? Does he do you still get a fee? I can't remember how it works.
Yeah, gets his half fee.
Oh,
so that's all right.
Kate was straight in there with that
Yes,
one.
he does.
Yes.
And he'll have dinner on the table when you get home.
Oh, yeah, right.
Ideal day's work then, turn up and just go home and get paid for it.
Basically,
go
like
watch
you
it.
every day at the Post, in the office.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go.
Are you on a non-runner fee as well?
Yeah, I need to check if that is.
Look, the wardrobe is improving, so it must be. There are a few people in the chat that have noticed this. Actually, there was a really good social that said Deontay Wilder has improved his. So look, you're progressing with everyone.
Champion of the world, I'll take that.
You're
I'm more of a cruiserweight, but
again pushing it, I imagine, a little bit there.
12 stone 12, mate. So.
You don't rock up in a Diamante mask. That's too heavy for your body to carry.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Right, let's see who can land the knockout punch in the 335 at Newbury then, Barry. Moe Mo, Motta Mott, Royam, Uni, Mr. Marbles, or maybe Rainy Day Woman. How are you playing?
Yeah, Rayan Rooney's your favourite now, 3.15. Motta Mott 3.2. So just shading it at the head of the market. Royam Uni. Mr. Marble 7.2. 8 Rainy Day Woman 8.8 for dames, and Martin Spirit is 170. 4 non-runners here, leaves just 6. But again, it's standard place terms on the exchange, obviously. Regardless of the non-runners here. So it's still 3 places on the Betfair Exchange. You can also bet 2 and 4 places. But in the 3-place market, please, Kate, we're going to look at Rainy Day Woman. Just got bogged down in the heavy ground behind Love Envoy last day. Obviously, she's a good mare. Love Envoy went on to frank the form at Cheltenham. But she pulled up Rainy Day Woman. She had a regular heartbeat. Paul said in his blog, which you can read exclusively on betting.betfair, that she's come back to herself. She's here a fresh horse. And the drying ground in Newbury will suit her. It's good to soft. Probably on the soft side of good, really, looking at all the non-runners. But she strung a couple of good wins in Wincanton together, then went to Taunton, carried her penalty. She was favourite that day and pulled up obviously in Linkfield behind Love Envoy. So looking to give her another chance. Just in the place market, Kate, we won 50 quid in the first race, obviously laying the favourite. We're going to spin it up here. Rainy Day Woman, 50 quid, win. 3 places on the Betfair Exchange. So it's currently about 208. Happy to be a price taker here.
Very interesting, Barry. I wondered whether you were going to.
And
go
did we?
with this.
Did you get the lucky 15 on? Is that confirmed?
I have absolutely no idea, Barry. I click into my bets.
Okay, that's not good. That's not good for the sports book. That's not a good look. If you just check my bet section on it.
I've had that error message before, and I don't think you have got it on.
No, it says I look into open bets, and it says I currently have nothing open, but I can't click into the bet slip.
Just populate the bet slip again. Just populate the bet slip.
We'll go for that again.
A quid each way, lucky
Let me into
15.
my
Yeah.
bet slip.
Bearing
Okay.
in mind that if it wasn't on, we've still got to pay the Injured Jockeys Fund 11
Yes.
grand. If it comes.
11 grand. Yeah, that's the concern.
I mean,
Right, I'm going back in.
You earn enough, Kate, but I'm not sure we.
Robbie's
I'll tell you what,
half
Kate,
fee
I'll
is
place
looking
at this end.
unlikely.
I'll
Okay.
place at this end, Kate.
Okay, please give it a go there, Barry.
Do it
Yeah.
on mine if you need to.
She's multi-talented, is our Kate Barry, but we've
I'm
tested her a
trying.
bit.
Although
All
we
right.
might have 2 each way lucky 15s on now.
Yeah, we may well end up with 2
Oh, the
because
dream
it says
is alive, isn't it?
It says please check if you have done it successfully. You click into it and it says it's not open. So Barry, I'm leaving this to you.
Yeah, okay. Well, Barry can do that remotely. Thank goodness. Kate, we will let you off the hook and we shall go down the panel. Royam Uni finds his way as favourite. Barry going for Rainy Day Woman, which you can see 3 places definitely because it was too bad to be true in a strong form race. I'm surprised she's as big as she is. But yesterday we were on a show, weren't we, with Pricewise Supremo, and he talked us both into Motte Mott or Moe Mo.
He didn't have to talk me
He
into
talked me into it.
He didn't have to because I was already interested in Moe Mo.
It was a case you got.
But the price has absolutely collapsed. I mean, he opened up at like 10 to 1.
Well, the non-runners have had a bit to do it because punctuation was.
But even last night, I saw he was cutting to about 3 to 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, the price has absolutely collapsed. I can see why. I mean, I really like Sam Thomas as a trainer.
Who doesn't?
He seems an absolute dab hand at getting horses in and improving them.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, look at. He put in one of the most remarkable bump performances last season, I thought, when James Bowen rode the finish with one rein.
Yeah.
This was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mental performance. And I remember backing him in the entry bumper after that. He was well beaten there.
Well, Henderson's horses in that race are just, I mean, he could have got, Frankel sunk in that bumper, He whatever he runs, they tend to be very good horses, and they just, you've got to take your mind of it. The one that Napa Hill won, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How many, I guess the question is, how many people improve coming from Nicky's, but has had the wind surgery?
Yeah, he has had wind surgery, first time tongue tie.
Chucking it out there, does he need to improve him to win this off
114?
114?
I mean, he's off 114. He probably doesn't.
Like Anyhar Marskin,
Yeah.
when he beat that, I mean, Anyhar Marskin started life off 114 as well, I think, and is now rated 140 plus.
Does it worry us that when you see a wind one on your race cars, and you remember the section out there, the racing post, I know a lot of people, have their screens open, they've got the card obviously available and a tongue tie.
I don't see why that should happen all the time.
Should it
They're
happen?
kind of
Right.
linked, aren't they? They're linked to
Personally.
breathing issues.
So if we see a win one and not a T1
Well,
or a T,
look, each to their own. For me, I don't understand if you've given a horse a wind up and it tolerates a tongue strap, why you wouldn't be putting on that in addition. It definitely is not a negative. As long as the horse is happy to face it, which obviously they're not all guaranteed to, but I'd have them on everything, nearly.
are you with Mo?
Again, I was very interested, but the price kind of put me off a bit. And Sam Thomas, I mean, you were looking at me saying I'm in agreement. Sam Thomas, excellent trainer, as in he and sharp and
Good guy.
switched on, top man, yeah. I mean, he'd come for a beer later as well. Don't worry about
Oh
that.
no, I absolutely know that. And of course, like yourself, has won a Welsh Grand National.
Has he?
Yeah,
Did he?
won
He
the
won
Welsh
the last
National.
one.
Yeah, this year. Where were you?
Oh,
Under a
no,
rock.
train one. I thought you meant ridden one.
Oh,
So,
no,
that's
sorry,
different,
yeah,
isn't
no.
it? Yeah.
Get it right, Dave.
No, brilliant. No, and that was great.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Frere Dame for me.
Frere Darms.
Yeah.
Is that?
Darme.
I've got a commentator on this, so.
Well, I don't know. As in, I'm happy to be corrected.
it should be
For
Darme,
your mate
it's
Dan
French,
Skelton,
isn't it?
how was the mood in the Skelton camp after Cheltenham?
I think they were actually fine, yeah.
Westcott ran well, didn't
Yeah,
they?
and I don't think it was ever like the be-all and end-all. I think he very much has made that, Now, whether that's the right thing for the industry as a whole or not, but I think they were delighted with Protectorat and horses like that. So, yeah, I don't think there's any negativity around that. I just thought this horse was maybe marginally disappointing at Kempton, but, an impressive win the time before from Stormin Crossgales, who, as Frank the form at a low level, was won well the other day at Wincanton. I like the up in trip slightly. I'm a big fan of the sire as well, Batheron, French sire. I think he could be, again, one for the notebook.
All right, why do you think that?
Well, we've had a couple through our place that I've really liked. There's not a huge amount of them on the ground in Britain, but he's definitely one that wouldn't be a negative for me. If we're comparing it to Fame and Glory, I would see this as a positive angle.
One of my favourite horses on the flat, Fame and Glory, was he? Really was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was
Loved it.
no
I
didn't have a
reflection
problem
of
with him.
But yeah, it's just everything he produces.
I guess when you're running in Gold Cups on the flat, you want to be siring jump
He's one of
horses,
those
don't
as
you?
well that covered huge numbers as a sire. So, of course, he's going to have a few good ones, but I think they definitely should all come with a question mark and a squiggle because they're not guaranteed to be straightforward.
I think Inflated and Ballyadam, are they his two best? Frame of Glory, I'll look up his top rated, but I don't think he's actually got that much of a
Especially
star.
when you compare it to numbers. I mean, he must have hundreds of offspring on the ground, if not more. Could be, and yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to look into that as well.
Yeah, Commander of Fleet.
Oh, I've nothing wrong
He
with
went
that
off the
at all,
boil
is
for
it?
about 2 years.
Yeah.
World Cup, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Come on of the fleet.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
he did win a
Still
handicap,
can't
it was
believe
just-
The
someone.
nice guy is up into third, actually, the Albert Bartlett winner.
Oh,
so
yes, of
I
course.
should really be, biased.
Hey,
and back
Barry,
in
we
favour.
enjoyed that, didn't we, when the Albert Bartlett winner came in and we noticed a very famous face walking into the winner's enclosure?
What was that?
Well, I said when the night... Kate's first reference of the nice guy today on the show. I'm expecting Allaho to get about 10 mentions. I'm expecting the nice guy to get about 20. We've had the first bell ring, but we did smile, didn't we, when we saw Kate leading that
We did, yeah. We saw her leading up in Cheltenham, didn't we? We gave it a big shout out, Kate, friend of the show.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, it was a bit of a
Goals.
surprise to all of us.
Aspirations. Just saying.
I don't want to be anywhere near horses, to be honest.
Don't they scare you, do
They
they?
kind of scare me, yeah.
Oh, there we go, another
I'm
one.
not a horse person. I'm a
Another one
punter.
for the riding
They scare
projects,
all of us.
Posty.
We can
All
get
right.
over that, Robbie, don't you worry.
1:35, we have not had a tip. Trying to get back on after an early fall, Kate Tracy.
Yes, exactly, trying to get back then. And I am with Royam Muni, who I've finally been able to pronounce his name properly now. I was with this lad even when we had Punctuation at the head of the market here, because Punctuation, he was a non-runner at Warwick then earlier on in the week on account of the good ground, so didn't expect him to turn up again here. Anyway, rather than Royam Muni should really be suiting this ground. And I'd say he might just prefer sort of a sharper track. I know he won at Fontwell last time out, but he was so on top in the finish. So I don't think the rise, the £6 rise will really affect him. He looked to appreciate the step up in trip. He was an eye catcher in the Betfair hurdle, so a return to Newbury shouldn't hinder him, especially now he has that step up in trip as well. So I think he's still well treated, and I just wonder how many of the rest of these are actually that well treated. I mean, this Moe Mot, Sam Thomas, we do associate him with taking on these horses and improving them. The record isn't quite as favourable as you would have thought, unless they have had money coming in then for them, which this lad clearly has, even with the non-runners. So clearly the confidence behind him, but I'll stick with Royam Muni.
You're right, on the flat form, and he I mean, £6 for that Fontwell romp, you could have maybe expected a bit more. I think the handicapper took a slightly dim view of that form, which I was surprised about. So, all right, Barry, they're coming out onto the track. It now looks like Royam Muni definitely fav.
Mo out to 3-1 now. Royam Muni just around the 15 to 8 mark. 11 to 2, Mr. Marbles. 6 Rainy Day Woman now, 7.0, 8.4 for Dams, and Martin Spirit 360. He's come full circle.
Right, okay, so there you are. There were lots of non-runners here. The market's going haywire, but we are settling on a Gary Moore's had some season, hasn't he? Really, best ever season.
What's his strike rate? About 20%.
Yeah, it was January and February where, honestly, the platers were winning handicaps and stuff. It was. Yeah. It's been good to see, hasn't it? There was that, of course, at February the 5th, wasn't it, at Sandown, where they had the famous treble.
Yeah, but the quality's just gone up again, hasn't it? You know,
that's what he says.
He's a fantastic operator, has been for well, as long as I can remember, but you can't go without the horses.
A double at Ascot on Sunday, and all eyes are on the flat again. Anyway, we're off and running. It's 1:35. It's Newbury. A couple of races we're bringing you for the Royal Berkshire track. And who is going to lead? Then hurdle race over 2 mile 3. And it is Charlie Poste's Frere Dame, I'm going to call him that, who goes into a lead. A little bit deliberate there, maybe Mot. First run the grey for Sam Thomas, but he's absolutely settled fine, as has Mr. Marbles. I was a bit surprised no one was interested in this, because it's got very famous colours, isn't it, for Philip Hobbs? You'll know all about that. Oh gosh, who was the famous?
They were very.
It's not that famous.
Well, Copperkey's not. No, it was very famous.
Village Vic.
Oh my God, Village Vic, of course.
Yeah.
Reece Flint used to ride them, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and all the family of the Copper K family and all the Coppers. Yeah, there was a whole load of them. No, really nice types.
There's one in particular that used to run in Potence and things like that. I will try and get it. I can't remember. Really honest horse. Anyway, good to see these colours. Royam Muni, just looking on from rear, as is the outsider Martin Spirit, pulled up the last rise. Can Jamie Moore conjure something out of that one? And right in the middle of the pack, Barry, is Rainy Day Woman. She's got a lovely sit. Has that affected her price on the exchange?
Yeah, she's jumping sweet as well, but she's out to 11 on the exchange in the win market. Anyway, we only want her in the first 3 to get paid, mind. But your favourite, 2.82 Royam Muni, 4.1 now Mo, 5.8 Mr. Marbles, 11 Rainy Day Woman. Fair Darns is into 6.6 now. Had a Betfair SP of 8.4.
Thank you, Barry. Okay, as your front runner gets what I would call a freebie.
Yeah, I think very much so. Just a sensible pace being set by Bridget Andrews, and yeah, I'm very happy at the moment.
Okay, all right. How are we feeling about Mo?
I'm feeling good. I actually did have a little bit on Frere Dame just now.
What? Because it's getting a freebie.
Well, I thought the price was actually a bit bigger than I might have expected. But yeah, I like. I mean, we got the first 2 there, so I think we're sitting quite pretty.
Okay, you've hit the crossbar in the first with Melistic. Let's hope we can get over the line. Mr. Marbles keeps catching my eye. He's going to be a nice chaser, I think, because he's certainly got. As soon as I said that,
he misses that hurdle.
That happens all the time, doesn't it? It's remarkable.
Curse of Dave.
That's the curse of Dave, says Barry. You're quite right. Now, Rainy Day Woman, a little think about it on the far side, but she's coming back up. I wonder how she's going to get on with the ground. It'll be very interesting to see that. Royam Muni just very quietly, Joshua Moore sticking away. Isn't it wonderful to see Newbury? This is just such a good track, isn't it?
Harry Cobden noticeably moved out wide though, hasn't he? On Rainy Day Woman, you know, as in he was slotted right in behind, and that he's pulled the. Well, I presume he's made a move to give us space.
Yeah, we'll talk about this maybe in between the races. I thought Paul would have had more runners.
I'd say she'd do well to beat the rag of the field home, Rainy Day Woman, the way she's travelling at the moment.
On and off the bridle, Barry, isn't it? But I don't know. She's and again, you wonder what went wrong last time. But she's been used to running on sloppy ground, so sometimes it can catch them out when they first get back onto it. She's certainly not out of this. Now, Mo is sensing that Fred Armaze has had a little bit of an easy time up front and is trying to apply some pressure. Charlie Deutsch, what a season Charlie's had. And keeps catching my eye. Kate Tracy, how can you call it? But Mr. Marbles, in those colours, surely going to go close.
Yeah, it was Fairalong was the other horse I was thinking
Fairalong.
of. Yeah, I kept saying Fairy because that was his nickname and I cannot remember his actual name. Yeah, Royale Muni is just now being squeezed into this Rainy Day Woman. She's finding it difficult just to hold her pitch there on the outside. She is so on and off the bridle rather than Royale Muni taking a right hold then throughout this contest. Held up in rear as we tend to expect. Starting to cruise into things now. Mo just starting to come under pressure. Tricky hurdle coming up now.
Oh, Kate, I was happy with Kate freestyling then. I thought it was great. There is no end to her talent. All right, okay. Charlie Poste is in trouble now because Charlie Deutsch is having a go. But look at Royale Muni. This is what two's on, Barry, is it? This is all over, isn't it? If it finds. Oh, wow, Mo coming back. Yeah. Here we go. All right, come on, Wilders. This could be it. This could be your first live winner, couldn't it? Come on, Robbie. Up and over we go. Oh, no, Roy Muni's hit it. But I'll tell you what, how well handicapped is this because he's still having a go.
It to bed, mate.
The two are coming clear. Mo. Price-wise put this up yesterday. Loads of you will be screaming it. Sam Thomas, he's got it right. He said nothing. Charlie Deutsch said just having the time of his life. Roy Muni, that error may be two out. He's dossing a bit in front, but this is the Grays race, isn't it? He looked a bit sticky. We'll go to Barry after this to see how big he went. Hang on. No. Come on. Wilders, surely not. I'll tell you what, now he's got this. He gets a bit of company and he goes on again. It's all right. Happy days.
Don't do that again.
Don't. Just when you think you're home and hose, Robbie.
Yeah, we needed it.
You needed it.
The money was right. I mean, I can't believe he's opened up at about 10s yesterday.
Well, let's get to Barry because Barry, it looked like Roy Muni was going to cruise away with this. He was having a fight though, wasn't he, before he walked through his second last. He's done well to come back maybe, but how big did Mo go?
Your runner-up hit a low of 1.18, so 9-2 on, can you believe, for Roy Muni. And the lowest... or the highest that Mo went. Is it Mo or Mote Mo? 13 quid of 15.5.
I don't even think Doy Walters could tell us that, could he?
I just googled Mo, right, and it's a book.
Oh, that doesn't actually help us at all.
That doesn't help us in any way.
I'm going to say Mo.
No, you have to.
Did you say 15s he went, Barry?
Yeah, 15.5. A high of 15.5.
Wow, who got that out there? Let us know. Let's start building some socials up. We'll start to hear from you very shortly. We've got to go up for the Stayers race with Dusart in it, of course, at 150. This is the offer race, of course. Your money back if your horse finished it. If it fails to place or indeed finish. So we'll get that up shortly. But Dusart, there's the Betfair SP then, Mo. He was the gamble, wasn't he? Despite the non-runners, price-wise off the mark for the day as well. Tom Seagull gone for, of course, Kitty's Light and one more flurry in the biggie at 3.35. All right, we're warming up for that 2 races down here. Welcome along if you're just joining the party on Race Day Live. Great to have you with us. It's a strange weather time at the moment, isn't it? The taps have been on at Ayr. You were talking, you two guys, about the times yesterday.
Yeah, I was sort of watching it yesterday, Newbury, and the times at the start of the day weren't overly quick, and they were just getting quicker and quicker, and some of the speeds they were trapping down over the last few flights and fences. And yesterday, sort of thought, oh, and then spoke to a few of the lads after, and they said, if anything, there is no soft in that, and they were saying it's good, if not on the quicker side than in certain places. So they were convinced it was very fast.
They're not finishing quick, though, are they?
Not there.
I mean, just to flag up Fred Army, hung right the whole way round now, if you watch that back. Has done all its racing over here. Ludlow, Huntingdon, Wincanton, Kempton. I think you'll see a return to right-handed trap.
You need to let it go.
It's just an observation.
It was well beaten.
It was an observation.
You're still going to give it another chance. It's interesting to get inside the punting mind of Poste.
Definitely.
All right, okay. Do you think it will jump a fence? Mr. Marbles will jump a fence, won't he?
Do you think?
Yeah, look at him. Well, I'm hoping you'll tell me and confirm it. Yeah, no, he looks big, doesn't he? That's the third.
That is the most cliched thing I've ever heard. Because he's big, he'll jump a fence.
Well, tell me why that is a cliche.
What to look out for? I don't really know. Apart from just pedigrees.
What for jumping a fence?
Yeah.
Like sort of athletic sort of ability and the big horses often don't guarantee they're going to be the best jumpers.
So if me and you were going up to the Beecher's Brook just ourselves next week, because
Yeah.
I'm taller, I'm bigger, obviously, quite by some considerable margin.
Well, I mean, the chances of you or I clearing Beecher's Brook is slim.
Well, I don't know, these days it might be.
They have reduced
I
it.
suppose the one thing you have got in your favour is you could be able to burst your way through it. easier than me.
Like Tiger Roll did, of course, which when he won his first national, a lot of people said about that. But listen, I can spring, mate. Don't you worry about that. I can
Like a salmon.
I should do the Fosbury flop like no other. Trust me. But
I'd say you
mainly
flop.
the flop,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
There was a lot of Fosbury in there. Right, we're having a good time. Let's hope you have got a couple of winners. Let's hope you went in with Robbie, Mo, and Pricewise as well. He's off the mark. A second and a first. You must be feeling good about the day now.
I'm feeling much better, yeah. Just got the confirmation that Mo means word for word in French.
Word for word. But again,
I'm always like to Google these horses' names. And
we still don't know
you
whether
might
it's
learn
Mott
something new.
or Mo, though, do we? I'm going to say Mo.
I think we do. It's French.
Yeah, okay. What do you mean?
Put some flair onto
So
it.
what is it?
I mean,
Mo,
I know people call A plus tard, so.
Oh, don't.
Some geezer I work with, mate, called Andrew Wilshire. I don't know if you're watching at home, mate, you should be ashamed of yourself, right?
A plus tard?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Second
All right,
myth.
okay. Well, let's find out how we pronounce Dusart, because surely this is going to go off favourite. He comes out of the Brown Advisory, Barry. It's Ronnie Bartlett. It's Nicky Henderson. They've already struck at the meeting. What price is he going to go off? I like him a lot.
Well, I don't know what price he's going to go off. He's 3.2 at the moment, which is 9-4. He has been matched at a high of 3.7, which is around the 11-4 mark. I wouldn't say he's rock solid at the head of the market either, Dave. Obviously, a lot of people looking to take him on because he had a hard race in Cheltenham on heavy ground. He the worst of the ground on the Wednesday. Sounds Russian 6.6, 7-8 each at 2. Lord Accord and Dayum Breed. Golden Rebel 8-8. 12 each at 2. Striking Post. IK Brunel. And the Rag of the Field, Now, Where or When, is the horse that I fancy in it. Stuart Crawford, JJ Slevin going over to ride it. He won a novice chase in Fairy House in January. He pulled up last time out in Navan. That was a really good race, and the ground was really, really soft. So getting on a bit of better ground here will really suit him. He's rated 122 in Ireland. He's plus £4 in the UK, so he's rated 126. He's only had 4 chases. He's won once. He's finished second and third, and then he pulled up in his last race. If you forgive him his last run, there's no way he's a 27 chance, which he is currently on the Betfair Exchange. So we're going to look to back and win in place. Don't forget, this is the money back special race on the Sportsbook and Exchange. If your horse fails to place, you get your cash back as a free bet. So for me, this is a free bet on Now, Where or When. We're going to have 25 quid win. Please, Kate, happy to be a price taker. He's 27 at the moment. And we're going to look at the place market, the standard place market, where he's currently trading a 5.5, which is 9-2. We're going to have 25 quid on him there as well. So with this being the money back special race, for me, if anyone wants to have a 5 or a 10 on this, I think it's a free bet.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, that's interesting. The Crawfords, of course, we associate with targeting the Scottish tracks anyway, don't we? Yeah. The Northern Irish Yard. They have a lot of good stock, don't they, from the point-to-point series?
Yeah,
So
excellent operation, yeah.
Munir and Isaac Swade have put a lot of faith in them, haven't they, I think?
Yeah, I mean, but they produce a lot of nice horses, like off their own back as well. You know, very, very talented.
They could go to Punchestown Festival and win a bumper and no one would bat an eyelid, would they?
No.
Yeah, all right, interesting. Listen, you thought that was going to be one of the rags. Not according to Barry Orr. You might want to get involved. You've got plenty of time. I'll say that. You've got about 5 minutes to the race, actually, not that long. I like Dusart. This is going to be a test, isn't it, of the Cheltenham. I mean, look, I know it's a week before Aintree, or, you know, some people might say, well, you know, it starts on Thursday, Dave, only 3 or 4 days. This will be a test. So many punters are getting their mind every year, the break between Cheltenham and Aintree. You're going to see also rans, winners from Cheltenham, going to Aintree to try and mop up the prize. The season's closing in to its end. How are we feeling about that? Because it's obviously all a bit closer. We don't usually have this meeting, do we? I think Dusart, if you watch it back in your members club, he's sort of coming. I think the track just didn't suit him at Cheltenham. A very good race, obviously. A lot better this. He's now into a handicap. I just think he's much the best.
And that is the other thing to bear in mind. It's not like he's backing up in a Grade 1. Like he's almost taken a drop in class from Cheltenham 2 weeks later.
If you saw him at Aintree next week, no one, again, would bat an eyelid at that, would they?
No.
Yeah, it's just 17 days. I mean, that's nearly 3 weeks. If it was 3 weeks, you'd be a bit more comfortable.
This is only his 4th start of the season, though, isn't it? And
it's only his 6th start ever.
It's a bit of an acid test for the delay, isn't it?
Henderson is naturally a tentative trainer, as in, I'd have thought if he had any reason not to be doing this, he wouldn't do it.
He hasn't been tentative with this lad in his career at all so far. That's why I find him fascinating, because he's been campaigned so uncharacteristically of a Nicky Henderson horse so far. And I know he's obviously had his issues, so time's been against him, hence why. But to go to the top novices hurdle at Aintree in your second ever start really was quite something. And he showed a lot of ability there. But Yeah, I agree
I've
with
said
you.
this a few times, and you're probably getting sick of it, but he had an awful injury at home after he beat Soaring Glory. Like really bad. If you could see his chest, I think you'd see it. He collided with the railing, as far as I'm aware, and they didn't think they were going to get him back. And unfortunately, he's done very well to achieve what he has since he's come back. And like you say, to finish third in that race was, even though the market thought he might win it, because it's Hendo, isn't it, and Robbie Barder. I think he's going to win. Let's get a quick social up. Let's get it up. Okay, 150 at Ayr. Who's coming on? Devo, one of our regulars. Dusart ran like he needs 8 miles. You're right, he was coming back, wasn't it? Wouldn't be surprised if he's got plenty left for this. Devo's with me. What wins Robbie Wilders?
The Golden Rebel, advised for followers of the anti-postman earlier this week.
The pop-up.
The pop-up. You can't get rid of it, can you?
I literally can't get rid of that pop. You've seen it?
I'm glad we've got a new
Pop-up.
He pops up in your emails and
It's always on the top right.
If you go on the website, he's popping up. It's getting quite annoying, actually.
Thank God it's not the old picture of me, because that was horrible.
But you're almost named after you, the Golden Rebel, isn't it? You're a little bit rebellious. You got that about you.
So, yeah. I'm a bit more regimented with the jacket on today.
Yeah.
I spoke to Jack Andrews on the way up here, and he was just wary of whether he could handle this step up in class. Was the only thing, but he thought he was sort of nailed on the run well.
Yeah.
Give him a positive ride.
He's from that
That's
dynasty, isn't he? The Andrews sisters, of course. What wins, Posty?
Dusart for me as well.
Dusart as well. Kate?
Yeah, making it hat-trick then for
Yes.
Dusart as well. I agree. I don't think Cheltenham suited him. For all that, he managed to win around right-handed tracks despite jumping out to his left at both Leicester and Exeter. So I thought, well, Cheltenham at least he's going the right way around.
Yeah.
But he was on his right lead the entire way around, so he just didn't take the bends. So he's sort of a bizarre horse in that sense, but happy to give him another chance left-handed.
Scrubbing along on the inside, wasn't he?
Just looking at him, like, he is massive.
He's the brother to Simon Sig, right?
But he's like this
Half
sort of
brother.
like type of horse that would easily not be suited by Cheltenham. Like the undulations, the tight nature of it, always on the turn, struggle to find rhythm.
Yeah.
You'd think a flat, big galloping left-handed track like this should be right up his street.
I think they'll be disappointed if he doesn't go very close to winning this, I think, because he might still just have an interesting future ahead. We might be looking at Ladbrokes trophies and stuff like that.
147 could look favourable.
It could do. Sounds Russian is a bit of a 1-1-1 machine, isn't he? Tom Segal, who's just struck in our last at Newbury. They're about to jump off, by the way. He really likes this chap. How good is he? We don't know. Doyen Breed finally getting his ground for once, says Sandy Thompson, a trainer that we associate with this meeting. Quite a few interesting runners in there, including Now Where or When for Barry Orr. Right. Barry, what price then just before they jump off Dusart?
Yeah, 9 to 4, 3.3 at the moment. 7 it sounds Russian, 9 and 7.4 Doyen Breed. The Golden Rebel is 11.5.
Thank you, Barry. And Dusart, again, it's kind of like they don't know, do they? No one knows how he's going to take that Cheltenham run. 9 to 4 pretty much sums that up. And he's in a share of the lead with Robbie's the Golden Rebel, who absolutely pinged that. That was lovely, wasn't it?
Good to see.
Very good, because he was the last time out faller as well. That's what you want to see. So Jack Andrews does adopt front-running role position from the strong staying, I think we can say, Dusart. I agree with you, Devo, out there, who's coming back. Lord Accord is in third. Doyen Breed got a nice toe, pretty fresh, but he's fine. Striker Pose also hasn't quite gone on with it after an interesting win on his chasing debut at Exeter early in the season. Looking for in the middle there. That is, of course, Sounds Russian, who we are going to find out today how good he is. Now Where or When out the back for Barry and IK Brunel as well. Are you doing a bit too much now? You've opened up in 3
Maybe.
links.
He looks a little bit keen, doesn't he?
They went very close to winning that handicap, didn't they, these colours?
Cobbler's Dream.
Cobbler's Dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, hang on, we've got a handicap plot here. And of course, he found one too good.
Good trainer, Ben Case. I like
And of course, it was Ronnie Bartlett's colours with Banbridge, the Dusart
yes.
colours with Tony Moff. So there's a little rivalry going on this race. I like it. Posty, anything catching your eye away from Dusart?
I think just a fairly sensible gallop early on. I mean, I wouldn't be concerned from where Jack Andrews' track position is. In fact, Nico de Boimbo's moved out off the rail, I would say, to apply a little bit of pressure. Still on his right lead.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, still on his right
Cheltenham
lead.
again. Yeah.
Where do we need to go? I don't know, Chester, something like that. I don't know. He's a strange horse. Barry, Now Where or When? He looked like he had a little look at that one. What's he saying now on the exchange?
Yeah, he's not really travelling, but he's just hunting him around out the back, I suppose. He's 50 on the exchange at the moment, 2.66 Dusart, so he's come in significantly. He travels well in second there. 5.9 the Golden Rebel, 5.0 now Sounds Russian, and it's 10 bar, 10 Lord Accord.
Okay, thank you, Barry. It's interesting that JJ Stebbins just come over for the one ride on Now Where I Went as well, but out the back at the moment, IK Brunel as well. Doyen Breed, Sandy Thompson. We'll see, again, that's that Reynolds Form, isn't it, which Corrick Rambler came out of. Do I Know didn't fire at Cheltenham, but we know that is a strong race. He could have a class edge as well. Striker Pose, just on the outside for Brendan Powers, had a good season, of course. Been much better this time around for the Tizzards, hasn't it, we should say. Even though they've not quite got the star, if you like, it has been better, hasn't it?
It couldn't have been much worse, really, than the last few years, could it?
You weren't sure about that?
I still think it's been in and out.
Yeah.
Well, they have, but it's steady.
There's been definite purple patches, but there's still been plenty of troughs as well. To go
horses like JPR1 who went off fab for the Betfair, you know, or nearly fab.
Just didn't. I fancy Fiddler for the National potentially.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, potentially.
Oh, first mention the big one as your horse walked through that.
Yeah, it wasn't smooth, was it?
The Golden Rebel.
He's not lost any ground, though.
Dusart just looks like a different animal to me.
Looks like he's enjoying himself.
I think what we're going to see... It was interesting, Barry, you said that he went... You know, what is he now? He's probably, 6-4, is he?
He's a little over 6-4, 13-8 at the moment, 266.
It's tricky, that one, Barry, isn't it? Because we won't know how much Cheltenham's taken out of him really until around about 5 or 6 fences time. So whether you want to go under 2-1 yet, I don't really know. But he does look very happy with himself, and Nico obviously thinks he's got bundles of stamina. Now, sounds Russian. A lot of people will fancy out there, and following in Tom again. Good to see Ruth Jefferson having a big Saturday horse again. He's a winning machine this season over fences, and he is not going to let Dusart out of his sight. Striker Pose, Lord Accord just dropping his position a little bit. Doyen Breed, not sure how he's going, Kate, as well.
Yeah, he's just slipped back a bit, really, hasn't he, there? He's just, he doesn't look, Romania doesn't look too distressed as such, but he has just lost a bit of track position there to Sounds Russian, who's just filtered in front of him, keeping Dusart in his eye line. This
is an honest enough gallop, Posty, isn't it?
I just think they're going a sensible pace, personally.
How fast are they going?
It's the same every time I look down. It's like we're freezing time and 30 mile an hour.
We've been over this time in the year.
It's just ridiculous,
isn't it? All of the lads doubt it, don't they? They all are suspect.
Dusart chased away from
Wasn't
that
the greatest jump from Dusart there.
A little slap down the net there.
We are that means that Jack Andrews is pressing on a bit, doesn't it? Just caught him out a little bit there, I think.
Big one now.
I don't know. Front runner's going well, actually. You're getting your...
Should be trading shorter now.
It's the 9-4 your pick now.
Is that right?
The Golden Rebel 9-4 and
Yeah, I'm liking this, mate.
They're starting to get serious. Dusart gave that plenty of air, but we'll see how he goes. We'll see how he goes. Doyen Breed now, another classy animal. He's finally got his ground, said Sandy Thompson. Oh, he walked through that one. Typical Dave Orton curse there. Now where or when, maybe thinking about trying to get into it as well. Sounds Russian, catches the eye if you had to call it now.
I think the winner's going to come for the first two in this race at the moment. I think Golden Rebel, whatever happens, has been given a really good ride off the front end. Looked down through the legs from Jack Andrews as well. I think he's gone sensible, injected a lot of pace and been very brave. He's thrown him at every fence down the back and made a length.
They're trying to live with him because they know that's what he's doing. You know, he's in the rhythm, isn't he? And it's a case of can they sprint off. Sounds Russian's going to go low at some point. And I'll tell you what, win, lose or draw, JJ Slevin deserves a medal because he's somehow got Now Where or When in with a chance. He's not looking the keenest, is he? But he's there or thereabouts. They're turning in
on the left lead.
Right then, come on, Dusart. What do you got? Is he about to stamp his class?
Come on, Dusart.
Looks like he's about to. Okay, goes odds on Dusart. We've got 4 to jump. Is it 4 to jump?
This fence is just so trappy. We saw it on our last circuit as well. I hope
he
gets a good
He's
stride.
going for everything, Nico. He's shortened into it a little bit. I'll tell you what, Sounds Russian wasn't great there either.
Sounds Russian, the
I don't know. He's idling a bit, isn't he, Dusart? But this is good to see. It sounds Russian. I'll tell you what, Barry. It can't possibly this, can it? I'll tell you what, Now Where When he's absolutely trapping. As he needs a good
stride, not a pet.
Dusart at the moment in front. Golden Rebel gone. Sounds Russian, only knows how to win. Look at Now Where or When. He's running an absolute blinder. If you backed him for the places, you're excited. Dusart gets over fine. It's just, I see what Sounds Russian's going to do him, I think.
Oh, he just
Dusart's run an absolute belter. Look at Dusart coming back. What a class animal this is. Happy days. Dusart pulls it out of the fire. That must have been carnage on the run in Barry Orr.
Carnage, Dave. Sounds Russian hit a low of 100 to 1 on for 768 quid. So the basement price, when he went to front, he just began to idle, didn't he? Dusart got back up on the inside. Dusart traded at a high of 48 on the Betfair Exchange for small money. 28 for small money as well. 25, 7 quid at 25. But yeah, your headline there. Obviously, Dusart's return 3.25, bang on 9-4 Betfair SP. But Sounds Russian, the basement price of 101, so 100 to 1 on Sounds Russian for 700 and odd quid.
Thank you, Barry. What
that is
an interesting race
and
that was. Go on,
Now
Barry.
we're Wem finished third.
Yay! I don't know how we managed to get him in.
We back a 9-2 winner in the place market. Happy
Lovely.
days.
Well done, Barry, then, for the Injured Jockeys Fund. And I'll tell you what, God knows, I mean, JJ Slevin has
And
one
for a
ride.
lucky 15.
He was, he's given that some ride to finish third because he didn't look that like he was that interested for a long way, and class act in the saddle. Let's talk about Dusart then.
Well, I think we can say that Cheltenham hasn't taken that much out of him. Because
What a brave effort to come back up.
I think there's bags of improvement that come from this horse. He's like really cumbersome still to jump. He landed
Loved
on
the
his
ground,
head a
didn't
couple
he?
of times. But again, that is going on about the cliche about big horses can jump. You'd look at this lad and said that he must want soft ground all day long, and yet you can see he's been exclusively campaigned on reasonable ground throughout, bar Cheltenham the last day. You know, as in he aside from his frame, he obviously likes nice ground.
And Devo, who we had on, said he would stay 8 miles. If you watch back, that's what it's all about, checking out the replays. Eyes, not ears. We always say it, don't we? Just watch what you see. As they were looking back the also rounds behind Long Press and Ahoy Senor, he was coming back, albeit against tired horses.
If you watch that race back up the straight, if he'd have jumped cleanly, he'd have won 5 or 6 lengths.
Class animal, Kate.
Oh, real class animal. He's just bizarre, though. I still can't make head nor tails of him. Consistently then, he was still jumping out to his left the entire way around Ayr. For all that he spent 75% of the race on his right lead until the ante was really starting to be upped then, and he was really asked to go about and go and win his race. And it's almost as though he concentrated, went on to his left lead, and then he was idling. And then, like I say, he's then come through with a late rattle. But, I mean, they chose to come for this instead of the Mildmay at Aintree then next week. And clearly they thought this was a very feasible handicap mark for him, rewarded for which I feel so sorry for Sounds Russian, because we talk about rides. I think that was a race full of top-notch rides. Nico de Boinville, JJ Slevin, Callum Bewley. Not all brilliant rides have to end in a win. I thought Callum Bewley gave Sounds Russian a brilliant ride then, but unfortunately he's just come against an idle horse who had the class advantage.
Yeah, it was brave coming back on the running, because we haven't seen the head on, but they're quite clever, these riders, Poste, aren't they? They try and, you know what I mean, once they get to the front, just try and intimidate a little bit one on the rail. It's just race riding, it's the way it happens. And yet Dusart still, a lot of horses would maybe shirt that, think they've done enough.
Yeah, but I think he still had plenty in the tank. I think a neck doesn't really actually show up the superiority Dusart had over this field.
The second's a bit of a tool, isn't he, as well?
He can't go up that much for winning either. So, I mean, what's he going to maybe 151, 152, something like that?
Let's play the programme game.
I think that puts
Ladbrokes Trophy?
Yeah,
Gotta be, isn't it?
Another 2 furlongs at Newbury.
Gotta be.
Off of marking the low 150s. I think you'd have to have him as one of the market leaders at this early
sensing
stage,
a pop-up during the summer.
He could be. I think he'll be close to favourite. I don't know if it's priced up
well,
yet.
It's
I
Nicky,
think he'll
isn't
be
it?
close
No,
to
it won't be.
He's not going to be. Yeah, he's not going to be like a anti-post value price.
No, not at all.
No, but look, hey, if we don't worry about that if we find a winner.
I mean, his credentials for that race are
it's
clear.
good to see a horse after that injury come back as well.
Yeah, I mean, whether that's why he always favours his right lead, because we don't know what the injury was. There could be something that's making him feel like that. But I mean, if he thought he could be a Charlie Hall horse or something like that as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Yes, he could be.
If he didn't think the handicap option was the way to go.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff. Okay, let's hope you're having a good time. We're rocking and rolling here on Racing Post Live. Welcome along if you're just joining the party. Myself, Dave Orton, the anti-postman, Robbie Wilders, a double header for him. The postman himself, Poste, back. What are you doing next week, Poste?
Next week?
Aintree?
Oh, yeah, I'm at Aintree, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Dangerous?
No, not socialising.
Unlike Kate Tracy, who's with us as well, who is going on a proper jolly.
Yeah, for once, I actually get to go on a jolly at the races. I cannot remember the last race meeting I went to.
I fear your voice may never come back.
Never again. No, exactly. I fear I may never come back, to be honest. So
it nearly happened to me when I went, let me tell you.
Yeah, we heard all about that beforehand. If only we could repeat it.
Come and meet me in the pub sometime.
I think we
can. It's not a story for the air. But Barry, we will be together next week, every single day at Aintree. You'll be beaming in again from Dublin. Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Dave. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, quality racing. We've got the 5 days through, obviously, for Friday today, didn't we? So just having a look at them later on this evening, but some quality racing up there. Love my favourite meeting of the year, without a shadow of a doubt. Just sorry I can't be there.
Is it?
Oh, it's a great meeting. Great meeting. It's a great city. Just
best
lovely
city
people.
Best city in the world, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great city. Just great people. Make you feel so welcome. You know, there's always a good buzz in the town, and there's just loads going on.
Where are you from? You're from Wirral.
Yeah,
you're from the Wirral. Well, you were born in Buckinghamshire.
Yeah.
You went up to Wirral. We had this chat, didn't we?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a place close to
The
my
accent, I mean, is quickly gone, isn't it? I mean,
I don't really have an accent.
Put my finger on your accent.
I don't think I really have one.
when you go back up there, do you start to, because I'm terrible for it, wherever I go in the world, I start to morph into the accents. I'm absolutely horrendous with it.
Well, so when you were up in Liverpool that night, we Sean talked about, were you there giving it the, all right, mate?
Who's that? Very good. That was better than I could ever do. Scouse is very difficult to do. But yeah, look, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let us know what wins the National. We will be doing our famous pin stickers guide. I say a pin stickers guide. You know, like for your sweepstakes, we will be giving one word on every horse. That was good fun
That wasn't in
last
the running
year,
order,
Barry.
was it?
No, you don't have to worry about it.
We can improvise.
Yeah, what you want to do on today?
Wow, if that's
We might have a bit of time to do. Maybe we could do it for the Scottish National. I don't know, but it was very popular last year. I mean, the viewing figures for last year's show were absolutely insane. So join us for that every day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We've got some cracking panels for you as well. Bruce Millington will be back, Nat Green will be back, Ross Bridie's going to be sitting on as well as Matty Batch and a couple of others as well. So lots of fun to be had. Join us here. Raucous reaction, of course, and the best race time reaction and analysis you're going to get, basically. So we must go on for a veterans chase at Newbury. And again, a race that's cut up slightly, Barry, but Mia, you are agreeing with?
Yeah, 2 non-runners here, Dave. So it brings it down to 8 runners. It's the dead 8 for each way punters on the sports book at 3 places. First Figaro is your favourite at the moment at 3.85. A little bit uneasy at that. 5.0 Bermeo, 9.6 Indian 5, 8.4 No Comment, 10 Glenforce in the veterans chase. Yeah, I like Bermeo. I think you do as well. Obviously, it's ex-Tim Vaughan. He's having his first run for Harry Fry. He's off 107 here. Just 4 runs ago, he's rated 124 when he was herd to Dom the Isles in Cheltenham last April. Obviously, the winners of Fair Horse Coustar de Savola was second that day, and Single Far Payments was fourth. That old monkey went off 7-2 favourite in that race. But if there's any sort of him, if he can eke out a little bit of the old, what was there before, when he was with Tim Vaughan, he should go very close indeed for Harry Fry. So 5.2, we're just going to have 50 quid win on him, Kate. We're going to set our own prices here. We're going to look back at a 5.3. So that'll go over into the pink section for someone to come in. 5.2 actually put it up at Kate. And so we want that someone to come in and lay us that bet. So it'll go into the pink section. But we're looking to back Bermeo at 5.2.
Cool.
Brilliant. I'm with Barry all the way on that. Just let you know I'm 2 from 3 so far.
Oh.
I know no one usually notices mine. I have to champion you lot, but I'm 2 from 3 so far.
Do you want me championing back?
This is how it's done, Wilders. And I'm on Bermeo because of the back class. First run by Harry Fry. Now, we spoke to Tom Scull about this yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah. He didn't like Bermeo, did he?
He rubbished it. He said, I don't want to take that price about a horse that's finished like this. But the key is here, Tom, if you're watching, that this is just absolutely chucked. He's had 1 run at Newbury of a much higher mark, placed. Everything is right, and it's the Fry factor.
But are you therefore saying that Harry Fry is that much better a trainer than Johnny Farrelly?
Well, it's lots of. I mean, we know, don't we, that a lot of Farrelly horses are now. All the Farrelly horses are now elsewhere, don't we? But
I mean, irrespective of him,
I'm going to say yes. Johnny Farrelly was very good at getting the horse for the right race, wasn't he? Very good, and he had horses that went on. What was the one horse he had in red and white colours that went on a real? Began with B. The one. I think the one at Kempton. No, it was Nat Green's horse to follow last season. I think I can't remember what it was. Anyway, 7 races in a row. He was a very good target trainer. This is off 107, right? And if Harry Fry has got it anywhere near back what it might have been before, and who's to say that Johnny wasn't looking for a target for it? If this is anywhere near back, and this is a conditional riders race as well, we should say. Brian Carver, one of the better ones in there. I say better ones in there, more experienced ones in there, I should say. This is all over.
Could be right, mate. I like Le Cavs and Ostra. I went into back to each way last night, thinking I was on a decent price, but he's not running. Get the case.
Are you sitting this out then?
I'm going to sit it out, yeah. But I mean, he certainly handled this quick ground as well. So I won't pay anyone off. But
first Figaro, there was a lot of love for that on our social channels last night because it's Valicia and it's chasing a hat trick. It's got Ned Fox on it. Tell me about Ned Fox.
Base with Venetia, like he rides fine, and of course because of that he gets the additional 3 for riding for his own yard, so claims a handy £8 off First Figaro.
Didn't First Figaro run in the Champion Bumper a few years ago?
Did it?
I mean, it must have been a few years
Was that
ago.
with Dermot Weld?
Yeah,
Ninth,
Dermot Weld.
yeah, behind Ballyandy.
Yeah.
You're right.
Wow. I don't, is this, oh, yeah.
Purple and yellow colours, was it? What's his name?
No, not
It was,
Dr.
it was
Lamb.
like blue and white.
Blue and white, that's right. I do remember it. Champion
5 lengths behind Ballyandy. But I mean, obviously, this is a different kettle of fish here.
Okay.
It's not for me.
No, don't have to play in every race. That's what we say.
I'm not going
Just
to
have a bit
play,
of fun.
mate. You can't force these things.
Well,
can you?
in that case, if you're not playing this race, can
Yeah.
we get you commentating on this race? Can you do the call on this race?
I'll
That's
give
a
it go,
done-up.
yeah. I'll
That's
give it a go,
absolute
yeah.
gimmer.
Let me just study all the runners.
You do it. Get yourself ready. Dan Walsh's idea in the gallery, that was. What can go wrong? What wins the Veterans Chase?
Tentatively, I went for no comment, just a big weight swing. He's an inconsistent winner, obviously. He won one of these. Would it be the biggest surprise? Hasn't ran since December if they put him away for this valuable contest. He's got a big weight turnaround with Indy 5.
Under the rider.
And under the leading conditional rider of the season. And which, I mean, I don't know, is Sean Houlihan injured or something? I mean, because he's ridden him quite a bit.
Yeah.
And just surprising that Kevin Brogan's been drafted in for today.
He is at Chepstow today.
Is it Chepstow?
Well, it's JP, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I mean, yeah, Sean Houlihan has won on him at Huntingdon, but yeah, anyway, that was my sort of angle. But I think this is a race full of obviously exposed horses. And
yeah, he's got a big swing with Indy 5, who Tom Segal did like because he thought he might lead Kate Tracy.
Yeah, the only reason I knew Hooley was at Chepstow is because he has one of the house keys that Kieran needed to go and get back in.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we had to track down who had the house
how many
keys and where they
to
were.
a house do you give out?
Tom O'Brien's got one and Hooley's got one, yeah.
Play your cards
anyway,
right.
exactly, that's it, yeah. Just constantly dishing them.
What wins this, Kate?
Oh, this is really tricky. I mean, normally these veterans races, I mean, I think Tom Segal said it himself, side with the youngest horses. It's not quite as significant a factor when you get to this stage of the season, though, surprisingly. So I was initially looking at the 10-year-olds then in here, but Glenn Forster, I'm just not sure he's a better horse, I think, we're going right-handed. So I'm not sure about here. And then the other two 10-year-olds are non-runners now anyway. But for that reason, I'm also with Indy 5 here. I know he's a 12-year-old, but he's a bit of a lunatic of an older lad, isn't he? My biggest concern is the pace angle in here. When you've got Valadom in here, we know that Glenn Forster can go forwards, First Figaro as well. But I really like Indy 5. His course and distance win then from last time out, no fluke about that whatsoever. I mean, he had Prime Venture in behind him there, who I actually like at a sneaky price in the Scottish National, then a big price then later on.
Is ground a concern with Indy 5 or not? I mean,
not really.
They always used to think that he wanted slow ground. I mean, I know it hasn't been in recent times.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned as I probably would have been. He's got a few good recent runs then on good and good to soft as well. So I'm not overly concerned about him. And as I say, if he can just get on the front end of a pace here, I think he's the biggest lunatic out of all of these. So hopefully he'll numb it out then, that he might be pretty hard to peg back.
OK, you heard it there. There are the range of tips. Barry, just before they jump off and Robbie Wilders calls them home, what price are we looking at Bermeo now? That's the one I really want to know.
4.8 he's into, Dave, so he's been well supported.
And
your favourite First Figaro at 2-1.
Thank you, Barry.
And they are off. Number 10 is First Figaro. Bermeo is making the running.
This was a bad idea,
Here
Dad.
comes Valadom.
There's a lot of them making the running.
Bermeo. There's a horse
Come on, Robbie.
There's horse and checkers out wide, but First Figaro is poking his nose through there. The former champion bumper 9th back in 2015 behind Ballyandy.
You're improving.
You've got to kill time, haven't you? But Valadom's picked up a couple of lengths here from First Figaro. Bermeo in behind the horse. Is that Psychedelic Rock there?
Yeah.
We've got no comment for JP at Manus. Glenn Forster ran well at a festival a few years ago. And then a couple of old friends in behind, Indy 5s there. And Vivas. Now Valadom has opened up quite a big lead here from First Figaro.
Yes. And
He likes doing that, though.
Was
Valadom.
it Sandown where he did it?
Oh, that was
my Lord.
heartbreaking when he was legless.
Oh, yeah, he got nabbed, didn't
Was
he?
that the Psychedelic Rock win?
No.
Actually won
Not Psychedelic Rock, sorry. The Prime
Yeah, it was
Venture.
Prime
That's
Venture,
when Barry
yeah.
put that
The
up, do you remember?
Veterans final, wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Absolute whopping
Didn't
price
think they'd
that
get
was.
back to him. That was on a really test.
Are you
test
surprised they're not asking? Do you think they knew with Indy 5 he wasn't going to get in the
I'm
lead?
actually delighted about this, really. I thought basically Indy 5 has one way of going about it, and you're not going to tell him otherwise even when you've got a Valadom in here. So I'm actually delighted with how he's settled, how he's behaved himself. I really thought Bermeo was going to drop out. That was going to give his chances to pick up the pieces, but he was bang up there at the start. So, no, I'm really pleased they've dropped back with Indy 5. Wish something else was taking Valadom on.
All right, let's see if the exchange is really pleased, Barry, or are they going for this front runner?
No, he's still 11. You can back him out. The Betfair SB at 13.5. So he's not just running away with the lead, is he? He's only 4 or 5 lengths in front now. 296 First Figaro, 4-1 Bermeo. It's 8-6 No Comment, 17 Indy 5. Glenfore's 11.5. So, yeah, First Figaro still very strong in the betting. It looks like the leaders come back to them a bit as well.
Much reduced lead with the comment in running lead as we go back to top course commentator Robbie Wilders.
Oh, right, I thought you were going to stand me. I thought you'd heard enough.
No.
Valadom is still in the lead from Bermeo. And First Figaro.
First
Indy
Figaro
5 gets a reminder, chased away from the fence.
Here we go.
Glenn Force
There's
is
the
making-
man now stepping in.
Glenn Forcer here is making an eye-catching move.
5 Live stepping in here. We go.
This is the way me and John Hunt work together. You just keep tapping me.
Come on, Robbie, you got this. I know you have.
I reckon I
Vivas.
could do this way better in a race where I'm completely 100%
Figaro on his
aware
nose
of
there.
all the horses.
Yeah, well,
These aren't my specialist races.
are you aware that Valadom is still leading?
I am, yeah.
Are you aware that
He's got
First
4
Figaro is
lengths
second?
ahead of First Figaro. First Figaro's got a couple lengths ahead of Bermeo.
We're going for lengths.
And Psychedelic Rock.
I'm not sure how well.
That's right.
I mean,
Psychedelic Rock is third, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
This
sure
is
how well
odd.
Bermeo's going.
Thanks,
You have,
Barry.
you have to be aware that people don't always have pictures to watch this show. So you know, Bruce Millings is his big thing. You know,
Yeah,
Can we say that Valadom has opened up again
Go on,
now
Barry.
and is leading by 6 as they enter the back straight?
have I put the mockers on one?
You put him in an awkward position there. You put Robbie in a dreadful position
No,
there.
I'm-
You could have marked
yeah.
his card that you were going to ask him to do that.
I
That's
think
not
he
fair,
likes
Robbie.
you.
No,
He
I-
doesn't always stick up for everyone, you know.
Cheers, Barry. I like these little challenges, though, but I'd have rather had it in a champion hurdle when I sort of know the score a bit better.
Indy 5 reminders again.
Well, Valadom is. I'm not sure how Indy 5 is loving this. I
and
mean,
he's not jumping
he's
well.
not, is he?
He's actually sulking a
Tom
bit
Segal
behind
will
there.
be
He's
spitting
120
at
on the
us, is he?
exchange, Indy 5.
yeah.
120.
All right, if we had to have one now, guys, Valadom is what, 5 ahead before we go back to Wilders for an interesting call. And First Figaro, Bermeo is. Yeah, I'm still happy with Bermeo, I think.
Bermeo's
still
your
travelling
favourite in
great.
running, Dave, at 2.68.
Oh, look, the jacket's
I
coming
love
off.
that the camera completely angled in then on
The
you.
jacket's coming off. It's getting serious.
If you're going to press me into commentating, mate, I'm going to get a bit sweaty.
Right,
I
well,
think
here we go.
Valadom's put a
Okay.
lot of
We're
these
about
under
to
pressure.
go to the
Valadom's
world
put a lot of these
famous
under pressure.
cross fence.
Bermeo is odds on in running now.
Come on,
Believe that,
Bermeo.
1.94.
I can't believe that, Barry, to be honest, because this
Ridiculous
Valadom
price.
is travelling very well for my money, yeah.
He does
Still
fall in
back
the
to
hole.
one in front at
does.
8 on the exchange. 7 to
8.
1, the one in front on the exchange.
Wow. Okay. When are they going to concertina Poste, or does he stay there? He folds, doesn't he?
On previous experiences, we say Valadom, and I wonder if the petrol
Yeah,
is
he's
starting
tying
to
up
go
now,
a bit
is he?
empty now. Switch leads as they run down to the cross fence. First Figaro and Bermeo closing down fast, trapped through by Vivas.
I'd say the fences are the problem for Bermeo. In between them, he looks
Yeah.
definitely looks the winner. First Figaro now probably.
There's no
just-
comment gone
First
out. I think.
Figaro's
He was-
gone favourite.
Yeah, because he's just
comment.
rowing
No,
away a
he's
bit.
not.
but-
He was cruising into it. There he is.
This
now.
is
Vivas.
this is Vivas who went. He
Yeah.
must have gone a huge
Yeah.
price. Well, we'll find out afterwards because
Vivas
he was being
wins this.
scrubbed. Right, Robbie Wilders 4 out.
Right, Valadom is now in deep trouble, right? First Figaro has now taken the lead. Bermeo looks in deep trouble as well, but Vivas is the one that the eye is drawn to. First
Oh,
Figaro gets it all
Bermeo
wrong,
was great
and
there.
the bloody the jockey has almost fallen. Bermeo has now got the lead. Vivas is coming through to challenge strongly.
Psychedelic Rock getting into
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. Come on, Bermeo. Come on up, Bermeo. Come on, you're the best treated in it. We got this, Barry, I think. Come on, Brian Carver.
So sure.
Oh, come on.
Bermeo
Yeah,
is
he's in
up-
front. Come on,
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Vivas.
Here
First
we
Figaro,
go.
a couple
2
of
outs.
They jumped the
2
second
out.
half.
Come on, Bermeo. You got this. Vivas, go away, Luca Morgan. What are you doing? Don't you dare spoil the party. He's got tons in hand, this horse.
Bermeo.
He doesn't look like it right now.
Come on, Robbie.
No,
Final
he's so
fence, Robbie.
far.
Bermeo's only got a length fed
Move
Vivas.
Move forwards, Bermeo. Go
Come on, over you
forward.
go. Robbie Wilders. Aye, aye. Bermeo's away.
Bermeo's
Oh, wow.
6 lengths clear now. He's stretching. First Figaro might stay on for second, but Bermeo's going to win here quite cosily in the end, and a big win for the studio.
Happy days, Robbie Wilders. You maybe not have a future with 5 Live and Post here, but let me tell
We have a
you.
dress rehearsal first, mate. Jesus.
There, listen, we like to have a bit of fun in this studio. Bermeo does pull it off. First one, Harry Fry. Had a look at a couple of fences, primarily the cross fence 5 out, which is all important at Newbury. But great ride, Brian Carver. Barry, how high did he go? Because he looked in trouble.
Well, Vivas hit a low of 1.70 in running. I thought he might have gone lower than that. Bermeo hit a high of 15. He was at one stage, only for small stuff. 16 quid done at 15 on the winner. Well put up by yourself, Dave. Betfair SP, Bermeo of 4.77. First Figaro was your favourite at 2 to 1.
And you, Barry, of course. So that's nice. That was in the lucky 15, I think, wasn't it? So, I'll tell you what, if now we're on
Well, we have the place part anyway. We have a place double up already in the Lucky 15 with Bermeo, and now when obviously is placed at 20-1. So that's 5-1 a place for him, or 4-1 a place for him. So if we could get the other two click in place and maybe a couple of winners, it'd be a nice pot.
Thank God you got it on, Barry.
Well, indeed. Because that would have been, you'd have been working here night and day.
I've been sinking under the desk if not.
Oh, great stuff. That was fun, wasn't it? Veterans Chasers. Who loves them? I do. You weren't sure about them, were you? We spoke about this yesterday. You just
I still don't love them.
Well, no, it is what it is. You know, you can't be in every
story.
sphere.
11-year-old still got the appetite for it. I mean, he was handicapped to win that, really, wasn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, good luck with the calls in future. We'll have to do a bit of work on them. Social. Let's see if we've got any reaction.
I'd like to have another go at that.
Iron Smiler.
Another day,
Deontay is
not now.
smashing it. Now the jacket is off Deontay. We can't be calling you Deontay going forward, can we?
That's tenuous.
I don't know. It's a bit tenuous.
I think so, yeah. I'm known as the
Iron Smiler, one of our favourites out there. The great stuff. Well, look, Bermeo, he was chucked in. He does it. Tom Segal, where are you? 1-1 for him and Dave Orton at the minute. I'm now 3 from 4, just to let you know.
Very well done.
3 from 4.
Credit where credit's
Second
due.
in the first as well.
All favourites. But...
All fabs. That wasn't fab, how dare you? Right, talking of favourites, Dusart, we know, has come from Cheltenham and just pulled off the 150 at Ayr. We must go to the 225. It is their Scottish champion hill. It's a handicap, but we have another horse bidding to do the Cheltenham sort of double in West Courtbury on. This guy ran an absolute sledger in the county hurdle.
Yeah, he did. He ran a cracker. Obviously, he was the Great Wood winner there earlier on in the season as well. He's 4.3 at the moment, so 130 favoured on the Betfair Exchange. 5.8, one more for the road. 6.8 Barrichello. Anna Bonina, 7.4 last year's winner, Milkwood, and it's 14 bar. Socialist Agenda is not without a chance. It's 14. I like Anna Bonina in it off 129. Second to Milkwood in the race last year. Off £6 lower mark, received £7 from the winner that day, is getting £20 off Milkwood today. Stayed on well in Musselburgh in February, went third to Socialist Agenda. She gave Socialist Agenda £6 that day. They're racing off level here today. So I think she got picked up a little bit of a niggling injury in this race last year, and she's just taken a while to come to hand this season, but she's back on a bit of better ground that she's encountering today, who's really going to improve her performance. And I think at around the 7.2 mark, I'd just like to be a backer here, and I'll take the price 7.2 as well, please, Kate. We're going to have 50 quid win at 7.2.
Cool.
Says Kate Tracy.
Okay.
All right, and listen, once again, lightning strike twice, please, Barry, because we're agreeing. And everything Barry has said, I echo. And the reason why, Barry, is because we seem to cover Anna Bonina a lot on these shows, don't we?
Very much so.
Yeah, and if you know her and you've been seeing her, the grounders, they've been potting around trying to get her back, looking for the good ground, getting the likes of Musselburgh. But it was February good ground. And I still don't think she was quite right. You could almost argue it was a career best in this race last year, and she is £5 lower. Everything is right for her. This is nap time for me. Anna Bonina. Nap time?
It's nap time for me, Barrichello.
Yes, of course. This was
Advised
another nasty pop-up.
Anti-postman this week at 10-1, 4 places. So this is the merit of getting on anti-post, because you've got to be alive to the races that are going to cut up. And this one, there's only 8 runners.
You were plus 32 points, weren't you? We were lauding your start.
Now plus 30 because of the 2 earlier.
Spoke too soon.
This could take it into the 40s quite quickly.
Yes, all right. So Barrichello, who has turned himself inside out, a bit like yourself, a bit of a twicer last season.
Yeah.
And you now know how to win.
Yeah, I like him. He's unlucky not to be unbeaten this season. The only time he lost, it was at odds of 1 to 5.
I mean, it was a stinger, that, wasn't it?
It was a stinger, but I think he showed much better than the Bear
What happened?
Because essentially he wasn't facing the right way under Theo Gillard when they went off, and he lost 25 lengths at the start.
And who gets on now?
Brian Hughes is on, regains the ride. The last time Hughes was aboard, he beat Good Risk at All by a neck, giving him £6. That's red up form.
Well, it is.
I mean, Good Risk at All he's probably not far for a Grade 1 novice.
Whether that was exactly the Good Risk at All we saw at Ascot, I don't know.
We know now he's not a 2-miler on good soft. But
that's a fair case, though.
Yeah, he still beat him. I just think we haven't seen the best of this 6-year-old. It seems like he's been laid out for the race. McCain's not won it since 2010 with Overturn. He's due one. He was outstanding season.
Even pulling out some trends there.
I think he's going to run very well, and the money's down. Okay. What's he on the exchanges now? 6.6.
The exchanges.
The
I'll say that, Robbie.
Still,
Oh, no, Robbie. The exchange.
he was doing so well, and then the black mark.
You were hitting it out of the park there. I complimented your commentary. How good you were. And then you just mess it all up in one stride. One stride and you're gone with
I
me.
haven't seen that sidey before. I don't want to see it again.
Just take the S off and you'll be fine. You did this last week, of course.
Third time lucky, yeah?
Well, they absolutely. Talking of third time
Aintree
lucky.
Saturday, yeah.
Aintree. Is your third time lucky going to win next week at Aintree?
Yeah.
In the Grade 1?
Yeah.
Fresh as paint.
Yeah.
And, all the horses. Is Edward's son going to go?
Yeah, he probably will.
Yeah. Well, look, you just said he's going to win. What wins this?
I'm going in with you guys at the Anna Bonina, but I'm going with Socialist Agenda. As in, I get the whole, he's slightly wrong at the weights, and he on form, maybe going at the weights, he can't beat your selection. But I just thought for Laura Morgan, it's strange for her to go and pitch up in a race like this when she's out.
You're a big fan of hers, aren't you?
Yeah,
We
I
spoke
think
about
she's
this
a really
before.
good trainer.
Yeah, Kate, you're nodding?
Yeah,
cheap
she's
piece on for
great.
the first time. Also has an excellent strike rate as well. And yeah, I just think there's more to come still. I mean, I still think there's more to come from this horse.
Brilliant. There's a great energy about today's show. I hope you're enjoying it out there. Kate Tracy, knock it out the park.
Oh, we're going to try to here anyway. Yeah, I mean, West Cork, the interesting thing for me is I think he's a highly talented horse. For me, this is an afterthought for him. And the fact he was aimed, there was no hiding the fact he was aimed at the county.
Yeah.
Now, Professor Mount has done me a turn with a trend then from the county Dan Skelton horses. We know that he likes to target the county hurdle, 0 from 10 on their subsequent starts then for his runners in the county. So it just goes to show that whatever they face on their next start is a bit of an afterthought. So for that reason, I'm not so keen on West Cork.
I'd enjoy letting you discuss that with Dan. That would be good.
We wouldn't be having that.
Happily,
He even thinks
happily.
Black Lion's going to win the National, doesn't he? He's that confident about life.
Yeah, exactly. More credit to him because he is. He's bullish behind his opinions and everything. And I have so much respect for Dan Skelton, but the trends don't lie.
And what does win then?
Hopefully one more for the road here. You know that I like to run my trends on these races. My biggest concern is the fact he's lining up prominently there with Barrichello. This race doesn't go to horses that make or are ridden prominently. They tend to come from off the pace then as well.
With Milkwood, who won it last year.
Yeah, exactly.
That means bridle.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, don't worry, I got it. I thought it was very
Confidence.
clear.
I always find it really creepy when you do that. I don't know why.
That's his dance moves in nature on a night out.
Yeah,
That's why I like that
exactly,
night.
Oh, that's why I find myself here with you on a Saturday.
Yeah, so no, I'm hoping that one more for the road isn't going to be that inconvenienced by it though, but he's a 7-year-old, which is a first positive, rated in the mid-130s, another positive. Two of his wins in his hat-trick did come from making all, so this is why I feared this was going to happen. But I thought his 4th in the Imperial Cup, when nothing could get near the well-handicapped winner, was very, very fair, and he's had an optimal turnaround time then for this race, and he's been given £1 back by the handicapper. So
Optimal turnaround. So again, another phrase that you need to get in.
I'm going to name my first racehorse after that optimal turnaround.
I think I'm spying a future Kate Tracy commentary as well. You did a little bit of commentary earlier on. I'll tell you what, you can tell your grounding. I reckon you can do it.
Talking.
Okay.
Give me another try in a few weeks, man.
Absolutely. Go home and have a think about it. Right, we are nearly off. Good luck wherever you're playing for the 225. Barry, West Cork, Dusart did it. Can he, according to the exchanges?
Yeah, he's 3.6.
Oh, you've done that on purpose, haven't you?
Surely you've peed that up there. Open racing here. I'm not going to even get dragged into this.
All right, the exchange says that West Cork was around about just over 2-1 then, wasn't he? But Barrichello goes straight into the lead. Now, this is what Kate was slightly worried about, because one more for the road. He's only got one way of going. Do you remember when he won the Jerry Field earlier in the year? Some people thought he stole it. I think he's proven that not to be the case, but he does like to get on with it. And they are going, 29 miles
Always
an hour.
30.
There's the 30.
They're always going 30.
There we go. What I am happy with for that means that Anna Bonina has settled very nice.
Are they going that quick? Because Carrie Skelton
West
is keen
Cork
on
is
West
keen
Cork, you
as.
know.
He's lit up, isn't he?
What a rev is pulling.
That was Graham Rodway's pick. He'll be livid. He's in Ireland at the moment. Milkwood out the back. The faster they go, the better for Milkwood. It's remarkable. I think he's only had 2 runs since winning this last year. A bit higher in the weights, though, isn't he? Socialist Agenda on the outside. The worry with Socialist Agenda would be experience, I think, personally.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I'm just going to chuck this out there. I think they're just going to middling gallop. Brian Hughes seems to be half stacking them up here a little bit, you know, as in, again, Barrichello almost looks like he's tugging at the reins to go quicker. I'm not sure this pace is ridiculously frenetic at the moment.
Favourite's not settling well, is he?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's horses pulling him behind, and Brian Hughes seems very happy stacking him up where he is.
Now Alkmaar goes up on his outside with James Moffat. I'm trying to got Mr. Cartmel, basically. James Moffat isn't. This horse used to be with Godolphin, and apart from the he campaigned him really, really well. A couple of judges like this chap. Charlotte Jones is putting some pressure on, and finally the gallop is absolutely lifting. Hey, 32 miles per hour. Who knew? But even Wider Rev, one of our favourites, Barry, right out the back, he's putting. Who does the Exchanger like?
Yeah, Voida Rev out to 29. It's 3.7 West Cork, 6.2, one more for the road. Barcella at 9.6, 6.6 now. Anna Bonina, that's come in considerably. And Milkwood into 7.4, but still your favourite West Cork.
All right then, Betfair Exchange says that. But not to worry about West Cork. Milk will just have a little bit of look at that one. Yeah, okay. How are you feeling about Barrichello?
I'm feeling all right. I'm surprised he's gone out that much on the Exchange.
Nailed it.
Because, he does get further than the 2 miles.
Now they've slowed again, haven't they, Kate?
Up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting, wasn't it, when Alkmaar came up then to join Barrichello, and then he did just take him on, the pace lifted down the back. Barrichello's a horse where I'm not always, even though he has this string of wins, I don't implicitly trust him then when he does get headed. I still, is a horse I continue to try to take on, but he still keeps winning. Back now on an even keel, and they're just going a sensible gallop now. Now
he's trying to stack it again, isn't he?
I just don't think there's been a huge amount of pace full stop in this, to be honest.
That short burst.
There's been a lot of horses, Milkwood, Voida
Come on,
West Cork have all been keen at various stages through this race, and it's one of these classes where you think there's going to be loads of speed and there hasn't. I'm surprised Jack Quinlan hasn't been more positive on Neil King's horse, if I'm honest.
It's going to turn into a sprint then as we near the home turn, and Anna Bonini just had a shake of the reins, but he's held that inside position, James Bowen. Delighted to see it. Milkwood catching the eye, last year's winner, the strong traveller. How much has West Cork got left in the bank? Right, the sprint for home is on. If you're on Socialist Agenda, he's just about taking it up now, and he's spreading it out. Look at Poide Rev on the outside, the old classy horse. Anna Bonini in all sorts of trouble, hasn't got the pace to win the race this year around. West Cork doing his best. Barrichello still in there. One more for the road. Anna Bonini back on the bridle. Here we go. This could be it.
Good job.
Come on in. Two out. Where are we? One for the road. Didn't do me any favours whatsoever. Kate Tracy, lovely log. We got Mullard there. I don't believe it. Winning the sandwich. This is another Cheltenham horse coming to the fore. I don't believe it. She's run a sledgehammer. Okay, one more for the road. Come on, Kate Tracy. Anna Bonini's running an absolute blinder. Come on over the top, Anna. Can you do it? Come on, Jack! Go, look at Barry's going, man! Come on, Anna Bonina! We're going to get it! And away we go! The money has landed! Happy days! Anna Bonina! What a ride, James Bowen! Oh, that's what you get here in the studio. Hasn't it been? The finishes today have just been absolutely outstanding. I could hear Dublin. The pitch was high, Barry Orr.
Down to 22 on the Exchange, Dave. Gave that a good cheer home. 22 for 19 quid. Your winner, Anna Bonina, hit a high of in running. The runner-up, West Cork, hit a low in running on the Betfair Exchange of 1.90. So just 10 to 9 on for 1,700 quid. And your third horse, One More for the Road, hit a low of 1.40, which is 5 to 2 on. 17 quid matched at that. So the second and third both traded at odds on in running. Your winner hit a high at 22, and a great ride from Sean Bowen, who I thought elected to go between the horses. The gap wasn't there. He got squeezed out, and he's done well to get up at the finish there. He would have been kicking himself if he had been a fast finish in second or third there, and it just came off for him. So congratulations to all. And we've got a nice double up so far, and we've all sorts in our lucky 15. We've got a double up so far, and we've placed Trixie as well.
Remind us the final leg.
Final leg is in the big race, Major Dundee, in the Ayr Gold Cup at 3:35. So we want that for 11. Yeah, it's going to be a nice payout. I'll work it out in a second.
Let it not be said that from Dublin and Barry Orr, fortune favours the brave. It absolutely does. Yeah, fantastic ride, guys. But the highs and lows, Kate. I mean, you thought you had it there, didn't you?
I had it.
Harry Skelton must have thought he had it as well. West Cork has run extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a muddling race, wasn't it? You know, as in and you're strong travellers, not a lot of pace early, suited like horses with a turn of foot. And I mean, Harry Skelton, I thought that he was going to have it. Sean Bowen, I mean, when you say it was a great ride, for what reason?
Well, he had to switch. He was a meat and sandwich at one point, and yet he galvanised her to get up on the run-in. I think that was strength in the saddle, wasn't it?
I mean, it's great strength, and Sean Bone is as strong as anyone. And
also,
he's a brilliant rider. I'm just asking why you thought that was a great ride.
Well, you're talking to the senior analyst here, so I'm glad you've asked.
Yeah.
And on the inside, as they turned in, he just had to hold the position as well.
Yeah.
He was totally alive to it.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking why.
Well, that would be why.
Yeah.
But when a horse comes back onto the bridle, and I should be asking you this, and Kate, this is why it must trick you a little bit into think you're going perhaps a little bit better than you are. And she'd maybe just bungled two out a little bit, maybe. And again, she had to. And then, mate, I thought Barry was going to have a shout at my analysis there. And then all of a sudden, you're thinking, right, well, the two class horses, solid, probably the best handicap form in the race, went clear. And he's galvanised to go clear. Now, they were given a weight, of course, and that was your hope. But sometimes, you can just see things, can't you? And it's that slow motion finish, you think she's not quite going to get there, And you can carry it home, which obviously we did in the studio as well. And Nap landed.
Well done, mate. To be honest, I did like Anna Bonina, but the price just collapsed, and so I had to sit it out. She's opened about 10-1 a couple of days ago. Went off about 5s in the end. I mean, you can see why now. She was valued to win by further, obviously being hampered. So yeah, big performance.
Those of you that backed Anna Bonina out there, whether you listen to me or Barry or not, there will be a lot of people out there because she has a bit of a following.
Yes, I followed her on the last 2 runs and abandoned her this time.
This is what happens.
Sick.
There's a lesson to be learnt there, I suppose. It doesn't always come off, but if you keep with these projects, you've got to wait till the horses have their ideal conditions a little bit, and the handicapper relented somewhat. So she's probably run up to the form of what she did last year, and she's getting away. The big story for me in that race, maybe not her as much as it is West Cork, I think. 2 horses from Cheltenham. One has won, and one's been beaten by, and that's, they have absolutely no problems.
I mean, they were much weaker races than the ones at Cheltenham, obviously.
But Dusart...
That would be my argument. I'd agree with that.
The class droppers.
Yeah.
Edwardstone.
Well, I think it's just still to be seen, isn't it? Like if Dusart had gone and pitched up in one of the Grade 1 novice chases there, you're getting far more of an actual relative idea. Can you get away with being slightly underperforming to your Cheltenham level if you're down in class? I would say possibly you can.
Yes, possibly. But if you've had a hard race and it's left its mark, they tend to not be involved in finishes. That would be
possibly. Again, I can see both sides of it. But I think for now, for me, it would be a watching brief,
It makes you think about how many winners from the Cheltenham Festival are actually going to try and take in the Aintree meeting, doesn't it? Obviously, Edwardstone is one you can think of, but it's off the top of your head, isn't it? Perhaps you can help us out there. We're
going to see a protector out, aren't we? I know he didn't win at Cheltenham, but he's going to test the Gold Cup form.
I imagine all the Dan's horses are going there, aren't they? Because the Trainers' Championship's alive,
yeah, and LA, well, I obviously didn't go to Cheltenham, LA Bell. I mean, he's got a big team going there.
Bell.
Yeah.
Forgot about that, yeah. It's a good mare.
Like her a lot. Is she going to go? What's she going to go for?
I'd imagine the 2.5 mile novice.
It's a trip, isn't it? She loved the track.
Yeah.
In fact, did she win a bumper there? Did she win a bumper? She might have done.
She's won a bumper there. Yes, she did. Yeah.
Oh God, it's
not at the festival. She won a bumper earlier in the year around there.
I remember.
Should be interesting for that. Yeah.
We are cooking with gas. We've got 3 o'clock coming up next at Ayr. It is the future champion novices chase.
Should we go 2:45 Newbury first?
But thank you, Poste. I do know what I'm doing. But we do have a race from Newbury to take him first, as Charlie has just told you.
I didn't give you a chance, did I?
No, you didn't. I'm on 1 by default here. I'll just remind you that I'm 4 from 5 now. It's mounting up.
You are flying today.
I'm pretty much going through the card. But Barry, this is a well-established Mares Hurdle final. We see the qualifiers all throughout the year. Speech bubbles out, which means her old rival, Nina the Terrier, for Alan Edwardstone King, heads the market.
Yeah, 5 non-runners here, Dave, in total. Nina the Terrier, 3.8 at the head of the market. 8.8, Holly Hartigo. 8.6, Run with the Tide. 9.2, Tweed Skirt. 10.5, Sabrina. Next door to Alice is 13.5. It was my race I didn't have a very strong opinion in. So I was just going to Nina the Terrier at 3.8. Obviously, she was a big price. She was a 50-1 chance in Cheltenham, and she ran accordingly behind Love Envoy. But I think the step back up and trip is really going to suit her, and I think the ground's really going to suit her as well. So at 3.75, we're just going to have 25 quid win on that, please. And happy to be a price taker here as well. On Nina the Terrier, which is bang on 11-4 at the moment. Just watching the race in Leopardstown where we could have some guineas.
I like the Sheila Lavery also going well.
Is this a trial? This is
Yes,
Glumathan.
It's a trial. The favourites.
2000 trial, Dr. Zemph winning as we
Doctors,
speak.
oh, look at all these horses we've got coming up. So, after Aintree, of course, attention's pretty much switched, don't they? We're just
At the
watching
front,
this
Colin Keane.
Joe
He's such a
Lawrence.
strong jockey, isn't he? But
Yeah.
fast finishing on the outside is the Acropolis for Derby
Big
winning
run
jockey
from the
Emma
Acropolis and you're
McNamara.
getting there.
I was surprised. Anyway, we digress. I was
Yeah.
surprised that Colin Keane was something like 5s on to win the championship already. That shows you how.
You were surprised you thought it was a short price.
Well, I did, yeah. So much can go wrong, can't it?
One on
So-
chance. There's no one in
Yeah.
Ireland will touch him. They won't get near him.
I don't want to
They won't
talk about
get
getting
within
there in one piece,
30
but
winners of them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
That's
Favourites
probably
won
less
it
of a
anyway,
factor of the
Dr.
Flat
Zemph.
Jockeys Championship. No?
I was a bit surprised. Yeah, well, look, we could talk about classics and guineas and that, but my head can only take so much. So should we just stick jumping today? I mean, come on, give me a chance. I'm going through the card. I'm getting excited. I'm on one by default here, but it's not Nina the Terrier. Now, this is, if you're back in Cheltenham horses, as we call them today, Dusart, Win, West Cork, very nearly won. Nina Terrier would be one. We spoke last night, didn't we?
Yeah, I like Nina. I backed her and Holly Hartingo the
Yes.
other day. But, I mean, double figure prices, but that's Rule 4 has just completely destroyed that. Nina the Terrier, I thought she travelled better than Speech Bubble did in their meeting on heavy ground at Sandown a couple of starts back.
Yeah.
But she's not a heavy ground mare at all. She just tired approaching home. Obviously, Love Envoy's come out and won the Mares Novices. Nina the Terrier did run in that Mares Novices. It wasn't her ground again, it was soft. She
It was
beaten.
too bad to be true, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I'm inclined to believe that she didn't have too hard a race there. She was beaten quite a long way out.
This is an interesting one, Nina the Terrier, because I would wager at the start of the season this was one race they were looking at.
Yeah.
But certainly...
It's the most winnable Grade 2 on the calendar, arguably, for a mare.
I was just going to argue that. I was going to say, for a 1-2-7 top weight for a Grade 2 race is
Yes.
I get the whole mares programme thing and the importance of it all, but this is a Grade 2. This is a plastic Grade 2.
But it is a handicap, isn't it? We do see you do often see a mixed bag in this because horses try and get in it to boost their potential, don't they?
For
down the line
to get place black type.
That's
and everything
right,
like
to get
that.
the broodmare
But what I'm
potential.
saying is to have a top weight of 1-2-7.
Well, it would have been, of course it would have been 130, but yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe Grade 2 status does seem a little bit misleading.
It is a bit mad when you've got gentle connections in here off of 102 who could potentially get Grade 2 black type in here as a 102 horse. It is
That
a
is
bit
a very good
mad.
shout, albeit some way out of the handicap. What,
Yeah.
£5 out of the handicap? Gentle connections. One of two for Dan
yeah.
Skelton, who won this with Roxana going back. Okay, so one for Nina the Terrier.
I've actually gone for Holly Hartingo as my selection, though.
Good.
I think Nina's a bit short now. I mean, Holly Hartingo getting a much bigger price, and this mare, she was unbeaten until she was dropped to 2 miles on her last start, and that just proved too sharp for her.
Tom Segal convinced me about Moe Mo last night. You convinced me a little bit. Surprise,
Yeah,
shock horror.
missed a listed 3-mile engagement last month, presumably to go here instead.
And we were chatting about horses that have definitely targeted this race rather than
Yeah.
sort of
And she
finding
has.
themselves because of rating bands.
She has, and there's reason to argue that
Yeah.
she could be much better than Mark 120. She's beaten Hillfinch, quite a good mare's come out once since.
And Johnny Burke, of course, Love Envoy jockey. So
Draw a line through that last run, and she should go close here for me.
yeah, I'm with you as well, Posty.
I've gone for a real big each way play. The Player Queen right down from Rose Dobbins, Scottish, raider, Northern raider. Won a Cheltenham bumper, beat Game On for Glory. I think good ground is very important. Actually beat one of our horses in a point-to-point round Maysmore.
Tweed Skirt was one of yours as well, wasn't she?
We broke her in. We didn't have her through pointing, but I mean, she's been very disappointing. Like I think they thought she was going to really take high rank.
Yeah.
She's been in and out all year.
Very keen horse she's become, hasn't she?
Yeah, a little bit like.
She'll like the ground though, won't she?
She'll like the ground. Look, she's one of those. I've no doubt she has more than enough ability, Tweed Skirt, off a mark of 118 to be a big player in this. Like especially even on that Go Dante form, But she seems to have gone very inconsistent. Second run back from a wind up. Some people like that angle,
Yeah, well,
don't they?
don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I do. And look, again, the Love Envoy race at Cheltenham, plenty of them didn't handle the ground that day, did they? So she could be one. And the Player Queen obviously ran in that race, was looked after. And just because I thought this was quite an open contest, not with huge amounts of quality, I just thought 20-1 on like I say, that Cheltenham bumper form wasn't a bad each way play.
Rose Dobbin, trainer of the outsider, Corey's Courage, of course, a big non-runner who was along with Speech Bubble, but we knew she wouldn't like the ground in the Mare's Hurdle at Cheltenham, but we ran out on the proviso that Craig would look after her. So in other words, they fancied a day out. We pulled up 2 out. She's bouncing after the race, so we'll give this a go. Fair mark, and she will like this ground. All right, didn't see that coming, Posty. Kate Tracy.
Yeah, no, I actually really like the price. She's not my selection, but I really like the Player Queen. When she won at Ayr earlier on in the season, Rose Dobbin, she had, was it the first 2 races, and she had another smarter gelding then win really impressively on that card. And it was early on in the season, and it was one of the first meetings up where I thought, oh, there's a couple of smart types there. Novices for the Rose Dobbin team, and I followed her then ever since. Like you say, she had no chance last time out then, but she probably is just a bit overpriced with her ground back now. But yeah, so I completely understand that angle then with her, and the fact that Craig Nicholls come down here, you know, he could have ridden Hill 16 and such like in the Scottish National. So I do think that's interesting, but I'm still going to side with Nina Vateria. Robbie said it, that her price is completely gone when you could have got 10-1 about her earlier in the week, but obviously with all the non-runners and everyone sort of on the same bandwagon, her price has just collapsed. But you can completely forgive her last few runs. She was on an absolute roll, wonderful attitude. When she fell then 4 starts back, she was even money favourite. She was coming to win her race, and she took an almighty fall, and I'm just happy to see she was okay from that. Haydock,
that
was given...
And that's right, sorry, that was A. Bell's race,
yes,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then at Haydock, she was given far too much to do. You just can't make up any ground around Haydock on soft ground in that sense. And it even said, I think, in the comments, given too much to do. Third, again, tried to come from off the pace at Sandown. Can't do that in heavy ground on that track. And then last time out, again, she just soft ground didn't suit her whatsoever. And she just didn't have a chance there, rather than she's much better treated in this company. So with her ground, Nina Vateria to get back to winning ways.
OK, 2 for Nina Vateria, Kate and Barry, who's on a bit of a roll. Absolutely like the favourite. And again, she could just outclass them. It would be interesting. Run with the Tide seemed like it's coming in for money, Barry, as well, in very famous high clear colours for Dan Skelton.
Yeah, 8.4 that now. Run with the Tide with Bridget Andrews in the plate there. Dave had a high of 12.9 on the Betfair Exchange. It's been bet at 3.9 now, Nina Terrier. So 8 to 3-1. Holly Hard to Go is 8.4, 8.2 now. Run with the Tide. Tweet Skirt 9.2. Some money for that. That's been relatively strong in the market. James Bones, mate.
Could this be a quick Bowen double then? The brothers in the saddle. Good luck wherever you're playing then. It's always an interesting race to watch. For maybe there's a good series over fences for them as well, isn't there? Of course.
It's a fantastic.
Where's the final now over the fences? Is it still,
Cheltenham?
Is it? Of course it is. The April meeting.
Yeah, which again
They've got
often
a mare's
ends up
card,
a pretty
haven't
low,
they?
pretty low grade contest because it's one of the days of the 2-day April meeting, isn't it?
You've been a bit disparaging about the mares, yeah.
I'm not at all. I just think that some of these races do end up pretty weak, especially at this time of year.
Grade 2 might need a bit of looking at.
Isn't that just the case across the board, though, even away from the mares?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I'm just reflecting on this. Like you say, you've got a 105 rated horse in a Grade 2 handicap. It doesn't quite seem
Add
right.
up for you.
Well, OK, this is the third last race of the day this afternoon. Loads of you watching out there. Great to have you on board. Dave Orton, Robbie Wilders, Charlie Poste, Kate Tracy and Barry all joining along for the party with you. We will have some time after the penultimate race, which will be the 3 o'clock small field chase at Ayr, to get lots of social interaction building up. There's a poll out there on YouTube. Who wins the Scottish Grand National? Give us your 1, 2, 3 if you like. This is the national fever time. Who wins the Aintree Grand National? We'll try and have a bit of chat as well to see what the panel like with that this week as well. It's all to play for. Good luck where you're playing then. Are you a little terrier with Nina as well? If she jumps around, I'm on Holly Hartingo. Posty's absolutely trying to knock it out the park with the outside of all, the Player Queen, who Kate gave a word to as well. Look, great to see horses back in this basking sunshine, isn't it? And again, what a thrill it is when we do Newbury on this programme. And away we go then. All right, and who's going to take it up? Look like there's a bit of a vie on for the lead. Next door to Alex Hales for Pleasures Trainer. Up there as well with the well-backed Run with the Tide. On the inside, Good Luck Charm for Anthony Honeyball. Definitely would have aimed at this race a long way out. Tweed Skirt, how's she settling Posty in 4th?
Tweed Skirt looks okay at the moment, yeah. I mean, James Bowen's riding with plenty of space, but I certainly wouldn't be overly concerned about how she's travelling at the moment.
Now, this is an all right gallop, Kate.
It looks it anyway, yeah. I know Holly Hartingo's the only one that's sort of just straining the rein there slightly, but nothing too bad. But yeah, with the 3 of them up front there, this definitely looks to have a fair pace on the better ground there at Newbury.
Have a look at the side on. You can see why she's called Nina the Terrier, can't you? She's tiny.
I'm never good at spotting these kind
Bruce
of...
Millington says this.
Yeah.
Just
I
Maine
can't do it.
and,
But
you know.
if I look really closely, I can see that she is a lot smaller.
Well, she had a little bit of a guess at that one. Holly Hartingo, our pick as well. Just nicely settled actually out the back with Sabrina. Watch her. A few judges out there fancy Sabrina today. Very easy to back, and you know how much she wants it, I don't know. Muna Makaruna, great name for Alan King. Some very famous colours out the back. I don't think we've quite seen the best of her. Largy G for Noel Williams, who would have had speech bubble in the race. If you'd like Sod's Law, that would be the one for you to back. Tom O'Brien, Cheltenham Festival winning jockey, out the back as well. And I think I've pretty much covered the field. Barry, they are going a fair old lick here for once.
Yeah, next door to Alice is still a 14 chance, seems to be travelling well in front, along with Good Luck Charm, who's 17. But your favourite Nina Terrier is still relatively strong at 3.5. Holly Hartingo is 7.892 run with the Tide.
You've got to be happy where the Player Queen is, haven't you, Poste?
Yeah, really good set. Great. Craig Nicholls got her ideally positioned, and as they turn into the back straight, with a lot of racing to do. But yeah, I'm very, very comfortable at the moment. Nina the Terrier following her through.
Considering that's got the absolute sit, I'm amazed it is still plus 40 to 1, that outsider. All right, let's see how we get on then. Down the far side, there's been a range of jumping, I think we can say that. Some are absolutely taking to this. They're very keen, Kate, not to let the connections of Nina the Terrier, not to let these front runners get away.
No, just in a lovely posse there. Brian Carver has got her just mid-division. She was ever so slightly slow over that one there, but she's got space around her, which you wouldn't imagine in a race of this nature you'd have that luxury of having. But considering her position, that's really likeable. I like where both her and the Player Queen are at this stage.
Yeah, they've got the lovely box seats at the moment because they are pressing on up front. Then Good Luck Charm still being taken on by Next Door to Alice. Right out the back is Gentle Connections with Tristan Durrell, perhaps finding this a little bit too hot. That's your 110 horse in the race and in a grade 2. Okay then, apart from that one, I think it's pretty much all to play for. Holly Hartingo, how are we going?
Going fine, yeah. I think they all are at this stage, so I'd like to see a bit more pace injected into it now.
A bit more pace. They're going 32 miles an hour.
Well,
Steady, man.
Let's see 40.
You need to get used to this clock. Let me tell you, that's hot. Hot stuff. All right, Good Luck Charm. Now Rhett Dingle started to press the button a bit. The Player Queen still catching the eye. I tell you what, Tweed Skirt.
Tweed Skirt, that catches the eye.
Yeah, jumped really well.
He's 3.6.
I'll tell you what, Charlie Post will be eye-high if that wins. Another notch off the old station yard bedpost, that'll be. Sabrina not totally out of it. Largy G catching my eye on the inside. Lots of running that's got left to do as we approach the home turn then. Posty, if you had to pick one now, still all right?
Player Queen's been nudged along a little bit off the bend. I mean, Tweed Skirt and Nina the Terrier, I think, are travelling best of all.
Look at Largy G. That one's definitely catching my eye. And again, behind Speech Bubble last time at Newbury, and it does run on. So, I don't know, was this the curveball from the Williams stable after all? Tweed Skirt and Sabrina coming. Run with the Tide still there. Now Nina senses glory.
Speech, yeah.
Here we go. All right, yeah, she's just scrumming along now. And again, how much has Cheltenham left its mark? 3 out. This catches them out a little bit. She was pretty good there, though, Nina the Terrier. Look at Sabrina going for it as well. The two big yards. Largy G, whatever price this is, I don't know. But this will finish very strongly. If you go back to its last run there, it absolutely flew on. Behind Speech Bubble. Nina's in front, though.
Nina.
The Terrier is there. Sabrina. Largy G for me picks her up, I think. Tweed Skirt is there. There's been some also runs in this. Largy G was very good there. How much? I'll tell you what, the Cheltenham horses are absolutely flying today. Sabrina now perhaps the danger. Nina the Terrier going for it. She's got to hold it together. Giving a bit of weight though, isn't she, to Sabrina? And Largy G on the far side. Over the last we go. I think this is Largy G's. Well, Speech Bubble didn't turn up, but the stable have still got the winner. This will absolutely fly. Nina the Terrier is digging, as is Sabrina. Could Sabrina still get up? Absolutely everything. Tom O'Brien will not be defeated. Noel Williams, he had the favourite. He's pulled it out. Still wins the race anyway. Who was with it? What a finish. 3 go clear. Nina the Terrier's run an absolute belter. She just could not give away that weight. Wow. Another race where a couple came clear. 3 this time, Barry Orr. How low did Nina go?
Yeah, Nina hit a low in running, Dave, of 1.33 for 1.33, so 3 to 1 on. Yeah, Tweed Skirt was traded short as well. That traded at 2.20 in running. Tweed Skirt. Sabrina hit a low of 2.8 as well.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, okay, so I did the analysis for that last time when it ran behind Speech Bubble. I'm just looking to see what I read. She's probably capable of bettering her mark back over further. I've got it wrong. the 2 mile 4 again today. But she does stay well. She caught my eye a long way out. And again, this race is, you can see where the mixed bag comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 out is when they tend to trap here, Poste, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Nina the Terrier, a fair effort. She gave him £17 to the winner and the second or third, Sabrina. So, like you say, class. The Cheltenham class and Nina the Terrier came before. Tweed Skirt, I still wouldn't be one to give up on. I mean, I'd say if anyone can find the answer of her, Nikki Henderson would be the man, and maybe another Summer will do her well because she travelled very strongly and jumping the fence as well. I completely agree. But fair play to Noel Williams. He must have been gutted with the likely favourite coming out of the race speech bubble and to go and pick it up anyway with large EG. Does very well with fillies and mares, Noel Williams. A good trainer anyway, but seems to do particularly well with these sort of with that sort of gender,
Some old school owner breeders, and Tim Sider obviously, and they absolutely. Of course, he was Alan King's assistant for years and years. He's got one over on his old boss there. So I remember meeting Noel at Aintree. Actually, we were talking about Aintree, aren't we? That was the first time I met him. Very nice chap indeed. And takes out a big Saturday race then. And again, Sod's Law, we saw it in the Lincoln, didn't we? William Aggis had a 3-pronged assault to try and become the winning most trainer of Lincoln. Then the horse that had just left his yard goes and wins it at 50-1. The favourite comes out of the Mayor's Hurdle at Newbury. And the second string, right old price, goes and wins well. All right, we bid farewell to Newbury on this afternoon. It's all going to be flat soon, isn't it, there, of course? We've got the Greenham meeting coming up over the Easter weekend. I'll tell you, it was a really good run now coming up for racing. We've got the Aintree Grand National coming up. We will be talking about that here on Racing Post Live with our sponsors Betfair after the 3 o'clock, where we must go next. Trappy race, Barry. I've got a feeling we might be in unison on this race. I don't know. 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Do your jobs. It seems to be a lot of momentum with that for Richard Patrick. 2.70 now, so 7-4. 3.1 Manila Drama. Ilradito 7.8. Biff Friendless in the market. That one. 10 Kilteely Briggs and 11.5 Jackamar. Yeah, I'm going to lay Manila Drama. I just thought in the Pendle he travelled well for a long way, but when push came to shove, he went out like a light for my money, and he was well beaten fourth behind Pick Dory. I think it might just be a long season catching up with him as well. He's on the go since last October. This will be his 6th race. And he just had a hard race last day. So we're going to take 50 quid of the backer stake out of it, please, at 3.2. It's on the slide, Kate. So price taker here, 3.2 or 3.25. Take 50 quid of the backer stake. And that's what we're doing here.
Again, I would be with you. It was just looked like a horse that had enough racing for me in the Pendle last time, and you're running out of opportunities a bit, aren't you? Even though he ran very well at Aintree last year, I seem to remember Manila Drama.
Yeah, he
could have gone there.
£5 penalty, not ideal, but I mean, he's the highest rated horse here, and
are you with him?
I'm not with him. No, I'm with Do Your Job, just because it seems quite quick ground, and I don't really think he's a 2.5 miler, but he got away with it at Newcastle on his last start. He was holding on in the end.
Again, deja vu. I remember chatting to you last night. When we did it in the note together, and we said if you go back 12 months ago, he was running at Aintree. I thought over a trip too sharp of 2 miles and running very well behind Belfast Banter. If you watch that back, he's going. But you think 2.5? He's
he had
absolutely
behind that.
Yeah.
As well.
So look, it's the top form in the race, isn't it?
I mean, he might get away with it here because, as we pointed out, as future champion novices chase, there are no future champions here.
It's the line that you said you weren't going to regurgitate.
And I've said it now for the 3rd time.
This is what happens when you do these shows, Robbie. Honestly, ask Paul Keeley. He gets one line for Cheltenham and he says it for about 3 months. And he makes about 40 grand out of it.
30 different preview shows.
He does. All right, so there's lots to be said for it.
When
in doubt,
it's just a weak race, isn't it?
Churn it out.
But do your job, just about. I'm not going to back him there.
Oh, okay. I'm with Do Your Job as well. I think this is, trappy is the word, isn't it? The T word. Jackamar, as much as I like him, not sure this track will suit him. Kilteely Briggs, I thought might be the fly in the ointment, but Posty, I'm sensing you would Do Your Job as well.
No, I've gone for a horse that I don't even particularly like, really, but Il Ridotto, just because.
Why?
Because I just think the good ground is the factor. As in, I'm just hoping that. I mean, the trip is a concern. He's a real strong traveller. He's been an underachiever bar Newbury, but that was probably the best ground he's raced on all season nearly, and just in a very, very, what I think is a very weak race. I just plumped for him.
unconvincing case there.
It is an unconvincing case, but I think this is an unconvincing race.
Well,
though.
it is, absolutely. You can do a Graham Rodway. You don't have to, play
Well, no, it wouldn't be, but if you're pressed, that's where I'll be going.
Okay, all right, Kate.
Yes, Il Ridoto as well.
There
I'm
we go.
convinced by this race, really. So
The unconvincing yet
unconvincing
fancied
side.
Il Ridoto.
yeah, completely. Like you say, I keep referring to this as a grade 2, but having to put the inverted commas. But yeah, him for me too.
All right, Barry, this is a small field. We've got a trappy field as well. Are there any other ways to play this? Like, I don't know, how would you be looking at the exchange or something different here?
Yeah, so your favourite's really strong. Actually, it's into 6-4 now. Do Your Job, but you could bet A versus B in here. So you could have Do Your Job versus Manila Drama. So in a match bet, obviously, Do Your Job is 178. So it's 4-5 Manila Drama and 5-4, or 5-4 against Manila Drama and 4-5 Do Your Job in the match bet. You can also bet forecast in a race like this on the exchange, and then obviously over on the sports book as well. You can bet win and place there as well. It'll be 2 places here, but. Yeah, it's a tricky little contest, isn't it? There's not a whole lot between them, and the end of season, it has just a bad vibe about it. Il Ridoto, has to say, is friendless in the market. Was a 4-1 chance, is out to 8 now. Paul just in his piece on betting.betfair, his weekly blog, just thought it seemed a bit of an afterthought sending him here. He's stepping him up in trip and hoping that the bit of better ground might eke out a bit of improvement for him. But did say in that piece that his Gold Cup day was that day in Newbury when he won. He was a 4-year-old getting all the allowances, and he absolutely danced in. He doesn't get any of the allowances now, obviously. And, the market, it reflected in the market with him being so friendless.
I think this chap was one, Barry, that we've been lauding, haven't we, the way that Nichols, aggressively positively, I should say, campaigns his horses. They turned this chap out too quickly after that Newbury run.
He said
it has taken him a while to get back, hasn't it?
Yeah, he said he regretted that at the time, didn't he?
Did.
I mean, fair play to him for chancing. It was a Henry VIII, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fair play to him for chancing that completely, but I think we all knew it came too soon for him. But he was he was getting the 4-year-old allowances when he dominated then so decisively of that win at Newbury. And the reason why people are a bit lukewarm on him over this trip here, because he is a horse, as Charlie said, who travels so well through his races and he has a lot of speed. But that Newbury race, they went like the clappers for about a mile early on, and he travelled away with that, and yet he still was able to run to the line strongly. So I'm not as dismissive over this further trip than a few people are.
He's going to need Kilteely Briggs to go on. Do you think Kilteely Briggs will lead here? Back, of course, Max McNeil, big team up. They've got the Wolf coming in the Scottish Grand National in 35 minutes' time now, the biggie. One of the biggest betting races all season. And they've got, the whole family are up there. But the Ultima was the race he sponsored. He obviously, it's his sponsorship, and he did a bit too much too soon there. I thought he might be the fly in the ointment.
Is he your selection?
No, I'm on Do Your Job.
The trip will be much better for him, though, won't he? He was never going to get 3 mile 1 in the Ultima.
I'm not sure I'd be back and Do Your Job at this low, though, Barry. He's gone...
No, he's 6-4 now. They're backing him like the feet's out of the question, Dave. He's sub 6-4, 2.48, 3.2 Manila Drama, and it's 10 bar.
Wow.
10 Il Ridoto now.
Okay, all right. Who's
Is
going
that
to go
'cause
off?
this is a race with so little depth that they're just clinging on to the fact that he's actually an in-form horse that...
And he probably has been, looks like he's... I mean, this was a horse that ran against Edwardstone at the start of the season, wasn't it? In fact, did he win that race where Edwardstone got brought down at Warwick? I think he did earlier in the season,
he did,
didn't he? They probably were hoping that he probably would make it entry and stuff, but this is not a prize to be sniffed at, really. And he just looks like the one who's coming here bang in form, doesn't he? And, okay, you could say maybe Jacamar as well, but much I like Jacamar, I think he needs a... He's going to, again, we say El Ridoto, he's going to need to go hard as well. Kilteely Briggs now finds himself the outside a lot. Slightly surprising. So to remind you, Barry is laying Manila Drama. I'd be with that as well, even though we might improve going this way around. The flag is up. Good luck if you're with us. 2 for Il Ridoto at the other end.
Why does Il Ridoto need him to go hard?
Because I think he's just one of those that the harder they go, the better he will finish, I think.
And he travels so well.
And he's
so
a strong
he'll travel
traveller.
along
I
with
backed him in the Grand Annual, actually.
He ran well there around the outside, wasn't he?
Well, great to have you watching with us this afternoon. Numbers have been really, really pleasing. Watch us. Great feedback. Keep your socials coming in. Half an hour break after this before the Scottish National. They're off and running. And, as expected and hoped for, Kilteely Briggs adopts the front-running position. Manila Drama taking out the inside. Pretty keen enough on the outside. As is Il Ridoto. All over the first. Okay, Do Your Job has got the nice little sit just off the leaders. And Jacamar, as he tends to do, pots them around out the back. Too keen? Manila Drama, Robbie Wilders?
Possibly. Yeah, he's keeping away from horses there, isn't he, Hughesy? I mean, I don't really like the horse anyway, to be honest.
Possibly was
I
not
think
the
he's-
answer I was hoping for. This is a yes or no, really.
Yeah.
He is too keen. He wears a hood, doesn't he, obviously? Barry, we've seen a couple of fences. Do your job. He was smashed up beforehand. Is he still there on the exchange?
Yeah, he's at his Betfair SP at 2.68 now. He's hovering around that mark. 3.25 Manila Drama. Il Redito 8.6 along with Kilteely Briggs and 12 Jackamar.
Lovely. All right, thank you, Barry. And, OK, yeah, again, you know, it's a 2 mile 4, small field. They were never going to break the clock on 30 with this one. Posty, are we happy with Il Redito?
Yeah, I mean, I think all these horses have actually settled into a good rhythm. You know, Manila Drama to me looks
He's
like
a bit better
travelling
now, isn't
fine,
he, I
you know.
think?
I think you've got to be careful of making too much conclusion after them jumping a couple of fences, you know, as in, like, Kilty Briggs has taken him along at a relatively sedate gallop, I'd have said, for the quality of the race and, well, in theory, the quality of the race on the ground.
31 on the clock. Stop the clock. Well, Kilteely Briggs, I suppose is quite interesting on that because you back down in trip. You don't want to sort of stack them up and then be done for a sprint, do you? And like I said, they had, what was the horse that they had win yesterday? Thunder Rock, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he
Whoa,
flew that Kilteely, didn't he? Lovely jump to see there. And again, remind us about these fences with the Scottish Nash coming up. Inviting?
Yeah, they're not inviting fences to jump. I mean, like I say, the first fence in the straight is
Sebastopol.
If you were looking
memories.
for a trappy moment around this track, then that's the one that provides it.
Because a lot of people will be thinking about the big one coming up. We'll go through the field for you, but Kitty's Light in particular is one that we want to see, or I will certainly want to see, with a chance coming into the home straight. Now, do your job. I thought he might be, again, I thought he might be, doing a bit more than this.
Possibly. Yeah, just Kilteely Briggs just squandered the lead there as well.
Yes.
So you want him keener, do your job?
I don't know. I thought he might be, I don't know. I don't want him to get caught out is what I'm saying. I didn't have him observing from rear.
I think he's speedy though.
Yeah, all right.
Be nice if Brian just gets across Adrian Heskin now and shuts the door on him.
Okay, well, she's successfully done that in the past, that's for sure. And around we go. Il Redito now into the lead with Manila Drama on the outside. Barry, you've laid this. How are you feeling?
Yeah, he still travels well. It's, you know, I suppose it's just when push comes to shove. He travelled well last day in the Pendle, but when push came to shove, there wasn't a whole lot there. So I'd like to see him get at it early and see what response he's getting from the horse. But do your job is shortening all the while. Nearly even money now, 2.16, 292 Manila Drama, and it's 10.5 bar the rest of them. So the market seems to think the market principles is bang between the two of them now.
Yeah, interesting. Just watching do your job there. He's keeping an eye on Kilteely Briggs and he was pulled out under Heskin. Interesting that Brian Hughes has kept this wide all the way. It's almost like he doesn't want
He
anything.
did that when he won at Haydock. He's almost a horse where he does slightly jump out to his right. So I thought it was interesting when he won at Haydock. Oh,
was that
Kilteely
Kilteely?
Briggs. Kilteely Briggs just came. Did he come up too long?
He's out
and
to
land on top of
6-6
it?
Manila Drama now.
Wow.
Out to 11-2 in
Yeah,
Manila Drama.
He's
Jack
fiddled a couple and it just, Brian Hughes is one of the most, he can lull you into a false in-running sense of security.
Yes.
Brian Hughes can. Whoever said that before? All right, over we
Good
go.
sit there.
Oh, yeah, no, I think the lay's looking good now, Barry, that's for sure.
Three of those
Kilteely
have got
Briggs,
some-
one Cheltenham horse who has not fired. I think we can say that so far. It had to happen this afternoon. Kilteely Briggs might even have a P next to his name as we go. But it's at the moment, the panel's got this right. Barry's laid Manila Drama. He's back into third. He's still not without a chance. But it's Il Redito and do your job. Robbie Wilders, you're very pensive there, man.
Yeah, I think it looks like Dewjob's going to win this by miles, actually, doesn't it now? I mean, he's travelling beautifully.
Yeah, he's 5-1 on now.
Yeah, 5-1 on. Manila Drama's coming back, though.
This was one of probably the best backed horses of the day, you would say. Okay, but he's still got to get over him. Il Redito's hanging on in there, Posty, or is it just...
he's keeping him pitching. Good jump. The jump will tell plenty for
Got
this.
the fence wrong last
really
circuit.
keen to do your
Ooh.
job still as well, isn't he? Very interesting. That's what Jackamar will try and finish, but surely too late for him. And Il Redito had a reach for that one. What's under the bonnet then would do your job?
You're
Richard
about to find
Patrick
out.
of Hillcrest fame. Who remembers that? Okay, here we go. He's going clear now. When are we going to see the 101? Surely soon.
Will he stop again, though? He almost stopped at Newcastle
No, you
last
think
time.
this is too far for him? I think
Manila
that's
Drama's
absolutely
coming back
Why
here a
is he
bit.
taking
Yeah, it's
off?
all too late. If he gets
No.
over this with job done, 1, 2, 3,
Lovely
a
job.
lovely jump for the Fav. The Jolly goes and takes out then the future champion novices chase grade 2. This is a horse that has got grade 1 form
And a
last
drummer
year.
might
Aintree.
place.
Has done it really
he's
well.
placed.
Il Redito's going to get done for second on the line by a rallying Manila Drama, who just made errors. Well done, Barry. You got the lay absolutely spot on.
Yeah, we got it right there. Well, we backed the field at 2-1 on, didn't we? That's in effect what we did by laying Manila Drama at 2-1 against on the Betfair Exchange. Do your job. He was evens from down the back straight, Dave. And then with Manila Drama, great sit by Brian Hughes after jumping the fourth last. He was nearly out of the plate there. And he's ran a spectacular race to run on again and finish second because his jumping was really, really suspect at a few of the fences. So, yeah, he's ran a good race, Manila Drama. But, yeah, one of the best back horses of the day, do your job. He returned to Betfair SP at 2.66, so 13-8. But he had been back at around the 11-4 mark on the Betfair Exchange, 3.80. So, yeah, real gamble landed there.
Thank you, Barry. I wonder if this is a horse that do you think we'll be seeing him in something like a Paddy Power Gold Cup? This horse, 2 mile forward.
Yeah,
Cheltenham. That's
definitely.
the one, isn't it?
Fair enough. I mean, I wasn't sure if he was a 2.5 miler. That looks.
Old Rowan could start in that. Do what Old
Possibly.
Mankind did. He's that calibre of horse, isn't he? I mean, he's absolutely hosed up there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like high 140 horse, isn't he?
He's a proper Grade 2 horse, I would wager.
How old is he? 8 years old. Is he going to improve that much?
I don't know. Juries. I'd still wait to see.
Do you think that was a race with a lot of holes in it?
Oh, huge. I mean,
Il Rodotto ran very well.
Manila Drama munch fences on the way around and still finished second. Kilteely Briggs never really went a yard. Il Rodotto, again, with Barry already said, it was a complete afterthought. I actually think on good ground he showed up a lot better than I'd imagine he's going to be missing most of the winter ground next year. And Jackamar isn't good enough. So do your job, did his job, in all honesty, as he was entitled to in that race. But I think, what's he going to... I think, would they put him up for that?
Yes.
So he could be nearly 150. Would I think going into a Paddy Power or something next year that he's well handicapped up 150? I'd struggle to see it myself.
And might be flat tracker as well, mightn't he?
And yeah, as Robbie said, he's an 8-year-old. It's not like he's a young horse that you're thinking there's going to be more physical improvement to come. I think it was really good placement. He'd been stuffed into Grade 2s already this year by Edward Stone and third time lucky.
Very good placement, isn't it? When you look at it, strike while you can.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what a trainer's job is all about. So I think plaudits to Michael Scudamore. He's a likeable horse. I'm sure he's going to win plenty more races. For me, to prove in open company he's going to be a graded horse next year, he's still going to do a bit more.
I'll tell you what, he travelled into the straight there. It was Cooper Square-like. He travelled...
I can assure you now, that Donkey Cooper Square never travelled like that.
What donkey? If you're wondering who Cooper Square is, go onto your Racing Post website, type in Cooper Square, look back to April 2019, 3 miles at Warwick, one of Charlie Post's last ride. Into the home straight he cruised. It's still one of my favourite all-time memories in racing this. Turned into the home straight, cruised in. The grin Charlie had on his face.
I definitely wasn't grinning.
You were grinning. Watch it back.
There's never been a time.
There's a close up. I backed you that down. I went, he's grinning. We've got the lot. It was like 2 outs, and then you let him pop the last, and something came and did him on the line.
It was an absolute stinker.
And the rotter I am will always remember Cooper Square.
It was a stinker. Someone told me they hoped I died.
That went a bit silly, didn't it? But I mean, that was a 101 Gubbs, let me tell you.
Look, it was a shocker. A terrible bit of riding.
Watch it back now. You've got time before the Scottish National. And we have some fun with it because that grin.
Quick. No, where the grin was.
You say turn the frown upside down, don't you? What's the opposite of that? I don't know, but it was a marvellous moment.
Jockeys ever do that during... I've never seen a jockey do that during a race.
What, grin?
Smile, yeah.
Oh, come on, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Spot things I have never clocked that before.
This was a grin.
Oh, is it? I'm going to watch it back myself.
This was a grin. Tom Weston's horse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good old horse he was as well. He was on his day. He was a decent one. And who's do your job by? Just to put the boot.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Fame and glory.
He's just.
All right,
Hey, there's
great
exceptions to every rule.
Okay, one more race to come, and you guessed it. Yes, it is the biggie, the Scottish Grand National, 3:35. We've got a bit of time, haven't we, to talk about these. 23 still go, Barry, or favourites have got a terrible record in this race, but they're coming for the Irish-trained Stormy Judge.
Yeah, Stormy Judge really strong at the head of the market now, 8.6. Dave has been matched at a high of 12.5 on the Betfair Exchange, 193 quid matched at 12.5. So he's really strong. Kitty's Light with Jack Tudor, 9.2. Win My Wings out to 10. That looks a big price to me. 14, fantastic. That's Major Dundee, 14.5. Same price as Ashton Ladd, the Ferrymaster. Cool Mix, both 15. There's been money for Cool Mix. He was well supported earlier on this morning, so he's one to keep an eye on in the betting. I like Major Dundee in this, though, Kate, please. And we're going to back him on the sports book, where there's 6 places. So if you toggle over to the sports book, obviously he He was second to Fuji Flight in Newbury in March. That was after 85 days off. He stayed on really well there. He's rated 132. I think there's definitely plenty of fat in that mark for him. He's only had 3 chases, but he showed considerable promise on those 3 chases with 2 wins in Bangor and Fakenham and a second at Newbury. And I think this step up in trip is really going to suit him. But it's 6 places on the Betfair Sportsbook. And we're going to avail of them here, Kate. We're going to have 25 quid 25 quid each way on the Betfair Sportsbook to avail of those 6 spots, which is a real help.
Wonderful.
Great concession, that.
In the colours of the late Trevor Hemmings for Alan King, who's won this a couple of times. Something tells me in those colours as well. Alan's last one in this, 2013, Godsmith Judge. Who remembers him? I used to love Godsmith Judge. Who didn't? So look, here we are. Mighty Thunder won this last year. First Scottish winner since Marigo back in the day. Lucinda Russell. Don't think she's got a runner this time around. So Corrick Ramble was looking at going, but that's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? But before we go down the panel, before we go through the field, before we get, our idea of the winner, let's have a look at some social selections out there. And I believe there was a poll as well. So Major Dundee, an absolute anti-post steamer, but who comes in? Let's hear from you, DK. Is that DK? Yes, it is. Highlight of the day, Dave Orton's bingo when Anna Panina passed the winning post. Was it?
Bingo wings, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Steady on, all right, happy days, all right.
Getting personal,
accepted, DK. Don't come back again. Trevor Mixed, much preferable social interaction. I think Prime Venture will be in the first 7 at 66 to 1 each way. Now, you'll get a bit of love from our Betfarians on the panel, of which I now consider Kate Tracy to be one, because you quite like this, and Barry, you'll remember, put this up in the Sandown Veterans when it came from a mile back.
Yeah, that's it. That race did pretty much fall apart, but he did tank into that, though, in that Veterans final. Then we talked about it earlier in terms of Valadom really setting up for them. But again, ran the trends for this race, and 2 horses come to the fore, Hill 16, and believe it or not, Prime Venture at 66 to 1. So I agree there with our emailer as well, because again, he just ticks so many boxes. I know he's an 11-year-old, but Taking Risks won this in 2019 as a 10-year-old. We know it can go to the old boys. He's been given £2 back then for a good third last time out. Taking Risks came into this race on the back of winning a Veterans, and Prime Venture ran well in a Veterans last time out. And he's running off of a mark of 135, which 2 of the last 3 renewals of this race have been won off of as well. So optimal mark, don't mind that he's an older boy, comes here in decent form, and he's been given a month freshen up and £2 back by the handicapper.
There we go. Kate's got it all, hasn't she? The talking form, but we call her absolutely quite
You're
right.
very kind.
Barry is an old favourite of yours, Prime Venture. Any chance? Or I suppose everything's got a chance, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think he wants bottomless ground.
That's the only concern is the ground.
Yeah, I just think he hasn't got the class for this, if I'm being brutally honest. I wouldn't imagine.
Okay, all right, Prime Venture there. I'm just having a bit of a pop at our senior producer, Kieran Thirlwell, who said, sorry, Dave, I misread that first interaction when it came in. He's just past his probation here at the Post as well, much annoyingly.
What did he think it read?
We will find out in the pub when he buys everyone a beer.
He's talking nonsense. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He was talking nonsense.
Don't believe a word that fella
Honestly,
says.
It's actually worse that he's trying to justify it.
Yeah.
Own up
to it, mate.
I was
Just
thinking
accept
legs
it.
11 and all that sort of stuff when I saw bingo, and then I saw your face and went, oh, right. Okay. And here's the poll, the social poll. Who wins? Loads of votes on that today. Who wins the Scottish Grand National? Delighted that most of you are with our favourite, Kitty's Light. Not quite the favourite out there, which I'm now thrilled about as well, because favourites have got a stinky record in this. But Kitty's Light for Christian Williams already had the winner yesterday. He's got well fancied runner Groom Dudaries when we go off air as well. 1 of 2. Wing My Wings on there as well. And Stormy Judge, the Irish horse, and other as well. Great to have you on that poll. Keep your socials coming in. We have got 20 minutes to go through the field, talk about everything. Maybe we'll talk a bit about Aintree when we've gone through them as well. Coming up, of course, this time next week, it is the Grand National. Who's going to win it? Looks like a monster of a race this time around again, doesn't it? So fantastic scenes. We'll find out about that. Okay, let's go through some of the tips then. I am Kitty's Light. I'm always Kitty's Light. I'm love the animal. You are?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And Tom Seagull as well, isn't he? Which I was surprised about last night. It's not often like Tom.
Doesn't normally pick a favourite in a big hand.
He's gone for one more Fleury as well, who won the 3-mile Dusart race last time.
Charlie Todd was quite bullish about him.
Your man.
Yeah, in all fairness. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Charlie Todd. I'll tell you what, he gave something the other day at Ludlow.
Also, Dave Dennis in the Phillies race.
Tide Times.
Oh, Tide Times.
That
Yeah,
is a
wants to go the other way
tricky
around.
jumper, isn't it?
Wants to go left-handed. But in
Finally
fairness,
got the money
like you
out
said,
of
but Ian willing
Good
to
rider,
target.
Charlie, though, isn't he?
He is, and he targeted those races at Ludlow because the prize money they put on
Yeah.
offer, like, which is to be applauded.
And with no crowd last year, you know, if you win, it's like there's a 3-mile novice handicap at Aintree next week. Don't push it, won it before he won the National. If you win that race, you want to be coming back for the National, right? You know what it's like. We can win the biggie next year. Definitely one more flurry. They would have thought that, and especially with no crowd, so they're back there. The celebration is.
I got
been
the
laid
vibe
out.
that he thought like he'd come forward a bit for the run at Cheltenham.
It's been massively pointed
the
towards
Ultima.
this race.
And like I say, he was really, really positive about that.
Was
Also,
it?
if you're on at a big price, then and the yard's in great form.
Got his
as well.
ground. Horse is going well. It's
Yeah.
just whether he's a horse that likes to get on with it, isn't he? And
That's it, this is a cavalry charge of a race. I mean, they will line
did you
up.
ride in this race?
Yeah.
What you say that like I shouldn't have asked you?
No.
How did it go? Did you go close?
No, it was a road horse called Ikaduru Road, and it
Yes.
was.
I remember that horse. Yeah.
Shepherd's horse.
But he's just way too slow. Like
Was he?
he was literally, you'd be off the bridle for about 2 miles on him, and this is not a race to be off the bridle.
Is
like
this a
that.
great meeting to go to as a jockey? You know, stay up there for the the crack and all that sort of stuff.
Wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I actually haven't stayed up at there. I mean, I've heard stories. It's good fun.
We'll believe him on that one. Kate nodding away. Okay, I'm Kitty's Light. If he's there at the home turn, they're all in trouble. Let's just put it that way. Robbie.
Get the angle. I'm Stormy Judge. A little bit shorter than I might have liked, but yeah. Excuse me. Pat Farhey, unfinished business in the race from last year. Mr. Fogpatch is third in it. Stormy Judge's brother. I think this horse might be a little bit more talented, actually. He's got a rock-solid piece of handicap form from last March. He's been Enjoy Dallin and Schoolboy Hours pretty impressively. Those two horses finished first and third in the Paddy Power Chase at Leopardstown over Christmas. That's always one of the hottest handicap chases of the year.
So when you arrived, you announced yourself on the scene. You arrived in that race, didn't you?
25-time winner for the anti-postman.
Was that your first anti?
It was. No, I had Grenadine as well in the Tingle Creek. But
Very
anyway,
honest of you, that.
enough of-
When
Yeah,
Schoolboy
I
Hours won,
wasn't
we
gonna
all
bring it.
went, oh no, he's done it. You know, he's insufferable at the best of
You
times.
need that early success to sort of get the subscribers in.
Yeah, well, quite. Are you not worried about the ground for this bloke?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, his form is on soft and heavy, but reading the trainer quotes, he doesn't seem overly concerned by that.
I think if it had rained, we'd be looking at a really short price favourite now, I think.
Yeah, I think
Stormy
so,
Judge,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the only real concern, but he's not. I'm surprised the British Handicap hasn't raised him from his Irish mark of 139. It's exactly the same.
The only thing I'd say, if you're targeting this race, surely you're anticipating good ground.
That's a very good point.
Let's
Like,
have a
you know,
look.
from Pat Fye's point of view. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's never been run on soft in the last 10 years, so it's a very good point. Although I suppose it was a bit sooner this year, wasn't it? So I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right.
but
Maybe
do you know what I
we're
mean? As in,
talking tosh.
you know, if you're flagging this up as your target, then you'd think in the balance of all probability, you're going to be running on reasonable ground.
We did a great piece with Connections as well, and he said a couple of years ago they brought a horse over. They were at, and they said had it have rained, and I think he departed early. But it is unfinished business in this race.
100%.
Okay, we've got a comment coming up. Manny Draycott back on. Ashtown Lad, my main bet, had a bit of each way on. Fantastic as two. 2 novices, Mally. Novices have a good record in this race. Ashtown Lad is on my shortlist. Is it on yours, Charlie Post?
Ashtown Lad was, you know, the run behind the Ahoy Senor, and the horse that finished behind him, a Richard Bandy's, has
Sant
come out
Palais.
and won since, hasn't
Is that
he?
right?
Yeah.
Saint-Palais, yeah.
Has come out and won since. I mean, he's a relatively progressive novice. I mean, he gets in off 140.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're dealing with a target trainer, aren't you, as well, in Dan Skelton. I mean, probably he's not so renowned for targeting staying handicap chasers. Kate Tracy might know more than me about that.
She probably does.
Yeah, but like I say, if he's flagged this up as somewhere that he wants this horse to end up, then you're not dealing with there's not a bad person to have on your side in Dan.
Okay, all right. So is that the pick?
No, I'm with Kitty's Light.
Oh, sorry, you are
Yeah.
indeed. All right. Is this the sort of race where you will back more than one? Were you? Is it, or you were just gonna?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite like the Charlie Todd had me convinced that one more flurry as well. If I'm honest, you know,
Yeah,
as in
that's a big steam of 66s in a lot of books when they opened up.
we'll love the ground, like you say, track form, yard was very, very quiet through the middle of the winter, where they often can be. I think
Yeah.
a lot of, because, well, I mean, not the one with flurries, but like a lot of dual-purpose performers, they seem to be well suited by reasonable ground conditions, and yeah, I could see definitely the argument with him.
Okay, Kate Tracy, we've heard you like a bit of Prime Venture, but who's the headline?
Yeah, the headline is actually Hill 16, who is getting towards Prime Venture's pricing himself, yet again running the trends there. So he is the main one, and that's why I'm slightly concerned that Craig Nicol did go down to Newbury today instead of Hill 16, because I've talked to him about this lad a few times previously, and especially on the back of the Welsh National, where Hill 16, he's a horse where I followed him a fair amount this season. I really fancied him for the Welsh National, and sort of talking to Craig about him, he did as well. And basically it just all went Pete Tong in that race, but it did for plenty of them as well, with, you know, a standing start and a whole load of them getting mullered, and you just couldn't come from off the pace there. And yeah, it was just a bit of a disaster really. But he's a horse where with second a nose behind Snow Leopard S then at Aintree in the Beach, it was so likeable. And then, as I say, I can forgive then the Welsh National. Fourth then in the Sky Bet, that was a solid run. Last time out, this is my only concern, is he may have peaked his form in that Kelso race, the Listed Premier Chase, where he ran an absolute blinder. He's been giving a £9 ride for that. That stings. But if he can just hold that peak form then, it was a career best, if he can just hold that for one more run, we know he stays all day. The post-race comments of this horse, time after time, is caught the eye staying on or was running on in the end. If he's still running on at the end of 4 miles today, I will go mad.
Would the ground be okay?
I think so. I think it's just very fair ground, unless I have a horse of extremes, which Prime Venture may potentially be. But for him, I'm not overly concerned about it, though, for all that, like you say, his form would read as softer. But
I mean, because court caves often want decent ground. So as in, I was just interested whether he might improve a bit more.
His
for
form
nice
may suggest a little bit softer, but like you say, I'm hoping that'll be in his favour, and Jack Andrews taking the claim off.
Second in a Beach, you'd think he could be going for the big one next week, wouldn't he? He's number 58 on the list. I'm just checking. They've got Dingo Dollar in that, who's actually quite, because Dingo Dollar went very close in this race last year, you remember.
He
looked like he was going to
so
do Mighty Thunder throughout, and he just got pipped off. I thought it was interesting that both the Ferry Master and Hill 16 represent Sandy Thompson in this, and yet Dingo Dollar he's 32 on the list, so he's going to get a run. And Dingo Dollar could just be interesting next week in the Biggie. Okay, right. I'm being told let's have a go down the list on this. Some rags that Dan wants to talk about. So Raymond Dannon, nice. The Wolf, win only. Get that, Raymond, because he is a bit of a wealth warning, said Graham Rodway to me earlier in the week.
I quite like the Wolf.
So do I.
Yeah, he's disappointed me. He's been quite expensive to follow, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's kind of like probably should have won weaker races than this. So he's been raised again. So I don't really quite see if this is going to be his day. Also, win only. I think I'd play races like this. I'd rather have a few stabs each way.
Well, I can understand that, because if he's there, I think he might just improve for the marathon. That's what I said in the.
Will his jumping hold up?
Yeah, that's the biggest sort of concern, really.
No,
for
Dan
him.
is right, actually, my producer. Let's give all of them a mention. He is quite right, because you know what happens when we don't mention horses on this? They tend to go and pip you in the finish. Strong Economy, then, for Derek Fox. Of course, was he on Mighty Thunder last year? I suppose he was, wasn't he? Derek Fox.
Steel was on him last year, wasn't he?
Oh, okay. Who's he got next week, Derek Fox, in the Biggie? One more Arthur, of course. One for Arthur, not one more Arthur. One for Arthur. Who's he got in the Biggie next week? Let's have a look. Bear with me, looking down. No, nothing so far in the National. Let's have a go look at Fidux. Alan King, very much a second string. Too many runs, I thought, for Fidux. Darryl Jacob, good to see him come back, isn't it? Quiet comeback so far. He burst onto the scene again, no doubt, when they get some ammo going his way. Vintage Clouds. Has he run in this race before, Vintage Clouds? I bet he has.
Running
He must have done, mustn't he?
Every stage.
Let's go down. He was a non-runner last year after he won the Ultimate.
Ran behind Taking Risks. Yeah, he was 6th.
Was he?
5-1 favourite for that year, yeah.
Yeah, he pulled up in, where was he? Oh, yeah, 6th, okay.
I mean, his form this year just doesn't suggest that.
No.
Just looks like he's getting on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In his free lads, someone suggests, was that Tom Seagull when we were talking to him last night? This is Brian Hughes' mount for Dave Dennis. Back to form recently. Is he good enough?
Possibly not. I mean, he was placed in the Ida, wasn't he? I mean, is there any real reason why he should be turning the form around with Win My Wings?
Just off a £1 lower mark. I mean, Dave Dennis is in good form again now, isn't he? Well, from sort of small samples of which. But yeah, that's it. Whether or not he's going to reverse that form or Win My Wings, even with the weight pool, I'm not sure.
Especially with Win My Wings being claimed off as well with Rob Jones, you know, who's I mean, has bundles of experience. I mean, like, you know, the fact that, again, for anyone, that he's a £7 claimer in theory under rules. I mean, I don't know how many hundred of point-to-point winners he's ridden on incredibly inexperienced horses. You know, as in he'll be well capable for this task.
Court Master, of course, one place off him in the Eider last time. I Win My Wings. I've been to give Scudamore and Patrick a quick double. Won't stay, will he? Robbie, you with us?
I was getting zoning out. I was just building my case for my other selection in the race.
Build it, please.
History of Fashion. Also,
Are you hoping for a Fahey forecast?
I'd love that.
You're hoping he does what Christian Williams does very well.
He can do it. It's good training in his own right. I backed this horse for the Eider a couple of starts ago, and he unseated his rider quite some way out, but he's very well back there. I thought he was going to run a big race there. Everything about him just suggests he's going to appreciate a marathon test. And then he ran next time at Navan on soft ground. The trainers come out and said he's not a soft ground horse. He couldn't believe how well he ran there at odds of 20-1. Actually, I backed him there as well. I just like the horse. I backed him there as well. And he drifted out from 8-1 to about 20s, and he's finished a pretty good third there. That was a promising run. He's on the same mark as in the Eider. What's he, 16-1 with the sports book? I love these races when you get 6 places. I think it's very generous. So they're my 2 each way plays, Stormy Judge and History of Fashion.
Any money for the other Fahey horse, Barry? Let's bring you in.
Yeah, he's not without a chance. He's 24 on the exchange in the win-only market. I think he's 16 on the sports book with the 6 places. But yeah, actually the race where he finished third in Navan, it was a decent sort of race that where the horse that we backed earlier, Now Where or When, pulled up in that race. The ground was particularly bad in Navan that day, so you can mark him up for that run. And he went off a 6-1 chance in the Eider as well. He unseated rider really early, but there was plenty of money for him in the Eider. I can't believe how big a price Win My Wings is. I really thought it would probably go off favourite. It's 10 on the exchange now, 9-1 in the win-only market. And they're claiming 7 with Rob James' claim. So it's almost negating what he got or what she got for winning the Eider.
He said to me, he being Christian Williams, on Monday or Tuesday, Barry, that he didn't think he could see the mare beating Kitty's Light, but I've got a plan, he sent to me on WhatsApp. Turned out that plan was Rob James. Yeah. With the 7 off, because he was a bit disappointed. He says, very rarely is Christian want to have a pop at the handicapper, but he thought for Win My Wings. Just touch on her a little bit, Barry, because I actually showed him the clip of us on live when she won the Eider. And do you remember, Barry, you called it as going odds on Win My Wings before they actually turned in? Yeah,
she went short very, very early in the race, and she just travelled supremely well throughout, didn't she? And when she got the office, it was all over, but... I think she could be an improving mare as well. Even what age is she? She's still she's an 8-year-old, isn't she? 9-year-old. Like there's still could be a bit of improvement with her. And this guy for a £7 claim, he's a serious value.
Yes, Gordon Elliott thinks that as well, doesn't it? It was Cider Burley that everyone was buzzing about him riding. Let's mention some of the others then who have not gone down. The Ferry Master did too much too soon in this race last year. Kate Tracy, had any love for the Ferry?
Yeah, he ran really well last time out, didn't he? And then again with his ground again. Sandy Thompson, another runner here, ran well in this race last year. 2nd start after a wind operation. Nothing really not to like about his profile then to run into a place again. I think he's vulnerable for win purposes this year. I don't know why he'd win it, but he should be bang there yet again.
£5 lower as well.
Well, a bit lower, and I think he's on my shortlist because he comes into it in form, and I think they'll be more patient with him this time. If you stop the clock 4 out in last year's race, he looked like he was going to go and do it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this race is kind of prominent races don't have a very good record in it because of the cavalry charge that Charlie mentions. That's early on in it, and that's why going back to Court Master. Cornish accent coming out of me then. I sided with him. Court Master. I sided with him last time out in the Eider, and I was kind of hoping they might just ride him with a bit more restraint. And he ran really well to still finish 4th, but again, he was just probably a bit too prominent for that. And again,
just a question for you. Obviously, on slow ground all through the winter, prominent races are favoured in these strongly run, top class staying chasers. Is it then the good ground and the fact that they're not going way too quick that means that it's not so favourable in this Scottish National race like that?
Flatter track as well, isn't it? And flat track here, sorry. It kind of, I don't.
But you think that would make it easier for the front runners
to get
exactly.
So what's the reason why on bad ground in the winter they go hard in front and they can't get to them? Is it the ground that means it's difficult
Maybe
to
catching them out a bit more.
pick up ground?
I don't know.
I'd say so. Like you say, the extra
good ground, it's
compensation.
easier to get to.
My
the
worries for
front.
Kitty's Light, being the number one fan out there of Kitty's Light, is that he gets too far
See,
back.
I think that'll be in his favour in this
I hope
race.
you're right.
I think
I
it'll all
do hope
finally
you're
come
right.
together because all the races where he's finished on strongly in the finish, all been front runner bias races.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's contested a race where it suits hold-up performance.
And let us remember the lucky 15, which is now looking like a lucky 1, Barry. Or if Major Dundee gets this, there's a chance we may have to give you a breather before we come over to Dublin.
If Major Dundee wins, I think we get 733 quid.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? For the Injured Jockeys Fund. Barry's been on form today.
In a few places, we'll get a few quid, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're still waiting to get one of these over the line, but it got agonisingly close, and it's been great tipping today from Barry. Right, Ask a Honeybee, I want to mention as well. I bet we've all got at least one horse in this race who you just... Ask a Honeybee. It's the sort of test. When he won at 14s on or whatever he was at Chepstow the other day, he was very unimpressive. But the harder they go, the better this horse gets, because he's one of those that just only does enough. And I would not be surprised at all to see him running a race in this sort of company.
Big field or concern or not?
He's just one of those that I've jumped off, and you know what happens when you do that, right? Talking of jumping off, they are very close to being off for the big one. This is a
3 minutes, yeah.
3 minutes, yeah. The problem is,
what are they doing
right, because this is the way this has started, they'll nearly walk them all the way back to the grandstand and then walk all the way back in the hope that they go first time.
This would be messing with Rodway's mind now, wouldn't it? He can't stand these messy starts and stuff. He really gets to it.
But I suppose they're trying to negate that, so they're going to make them walk back half a mile and then walk in, and then they'll probably start them off 100 yards back from the tape. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's lighting a few up, I think, isn't it? They're geeing up a little bit. You can see Oscar Honeybee's up there. Chirico Vallis is up there as well. He hits a few trends for Nilmar Holland. No good with Milkwood, but he'll be hoping to take this one out there. The Hemmings colours are up there as well. Stormy Judge up there as well, which is quite interesting. Looking down Strong Economy, one of the big outsiders. Where's Cool Mix? He's a favourite of ours, isn't he, Barry? Cool Mix. First time
There's a
tongue
little
tie,
boy there.
When he couldn't win last day, I've given up on him. Everything was in his favour last day. I couldn't face into him again.
There's your Sod's Law horse. Alan Doyle taking 7 off in Jardine, whose horses are going well. We will sign off after this and we'll get a national tip. Bar Barry, who's of course going to be with us next Saturday, from the 3 panellists who've been great this afternoon. Lots of fun with really good energy this afternoon, wasn't it? It's flown by, hasn't it?
Been nice, yeah. Only met the 2 people to my left a couple of hours ago, and yeah, we've had a bit of enjoyment, haven't we? So
Bit
Yeah.
of enjoyment
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Robbie.
he's not really sold it that
That's
well.
about as good as it gets. I can tell you that much. It's been great to have loads of people watching out there at the moment. Honestly, fantastic stuff. This is your alternative look at it, but you do get some of the best minds, believe it or not, in the business, telling you where your money has gone and where hopefully it will go. Get your selections in for the National. We'll try and give you a shout out as much as we can. I know Louis is doing our social today. He's hoping for a little clip that you can play through the week of the tips as well. National time. Scottish. Take the high road. Who's going to win? I'm hoping it's Kitty's Like My Lord. The bingo wings will be going absolutely all over the place if Kitty's gets up here. Oh, after that Bet365, and he was so unlucky, wasn't he? He might still turn up. Have you seen the entry stat, by the way? Album photo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I saw Album in there. Yeah. For that
I guess
routine.
will he...
Is that in case it comes down to the last day of the
Well,
season?
of course it is,
Yeah.
and he might scare a few away with that, mightn't he? As well.
But he might keep quite a lot out of the
Clander's
handicap.
Oboe in there as well. I think Paul actually has been thinking about this for some time, actually.
well, what rating's he on?
Very good question.
170.
70 something, wasn't it?
Plus,
There's
yeah.
no chance he runs in that, is there? It'd be interesting.
Whew.
Be great
Okay.
to see, though, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? I love
Yeah.
it when these good horses go in handicap.
And the narrative for the Trainers' Championship is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's very little in it at the moment, so this would make a bit of a difference, of course, to Dan Skelton, very much so. Ashdown lad, if you're there. All right, in Darren Yates' colour, Black Lion next week. The teenage now going for the National as well. All right, and his free lad out the back. Looks like we're getting ready for a start then, guys. Fare thee well, whatever you've backed in this year's Scottish Grand National. Is it delightful to see the crowds back? Not just at Cheltenham, not just at Liverpool, but this meeting in particular.
Here we go, first time.
Last year as well. All right, flag is down. Are we away first time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Away we
lovely
go. Look at
start.
that. You were right,
Lovely
Posty. They knew
start.
what they were doing after all. Only go up to Scotland.
What we like
One
to
more
see.
flurry on the aforementioned Charlie Todd. Anti-post Gamble up there right from the start.
Predicting 31 miles an hour. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. It's a cavalry charge. You wouldn't think it was 4
3.
miles, would you? Cool Mix on the inside, looking over the first. Not quite the Aintree is in a chair, but they are all over safely. I was going to say black line.
Ferry Master's lost an iron there.
Has he?
Yeah.
He hit the first one
Let's
then.
get that back quick.
Remind me who rides that. Of course, the Maniac, isn't it?
Maniac.
Yeah, okay. So I bet he spiked a
Kitty's
bit.
Light just slightly missed that one. And
Still something going on.
Where is Kitty's? All right, he's out the back as expected. Chirocco Vallis, I didn't see him leading the Scottish Grand National. Cormic's on the
That's why I
inside.
was against him.
Sean Economy's up there. El Paso Wood, or is that Via
The Wolf.
Doloroso? He's
The
up there
Wolf
as
made
well.
a mistake.
Court Master, the Ida Fourth
gone
is up
there?
there. Hill 16 for Kate Tracy in the middle, and his free lad
Jersey
at the back.
Beam gone.
Jersey Beam, one that we didn't mention for Brendan Powell. Oliver Sherwood has departed at the third, I'm going to say. Why they don't number these fences, I do not know. Okay, it would help me in particular.
Yeah. Why is that not a thing? That should be a thing.
On Sky, they've been doing it very successfully.
Really?
Yeah.
I think even at the
There's a
racetrack,
big reason for that.
even actually on course, that'd be quite
Bit
big.
of Racing Post shine going on those fences there. Fantasticas has got a lovely position on the inside. For you'd like the novice out there, he's a horse that does like to get on with it, being slightly more patient with him. Stormy Judge,
Yeah, I've only
full of
just-
himself.
There he is. Yeah, I was looking for ages for him.
There he is, and being followed by stablemate as well. Is it History Master?
History of fashion.
History of Fashion.
Yeah.
Get it right. Okay.
Fine position. Yeah.
Okay, we're pretty much trapping, aren't we? Barry, we're going into the home straight for the first time. They've all adopted their positions. What does the exchange say?
Yeah, Kitty's Light went off very short indeed, Dave. 6.95 Betfair SP Kitty's Light. Trading at 6.6 now. Same price for Win My Wing. So the two Christian Williams horses are almost identical prices. 12.5 Major Dundee, 10.5 Stormy Judge, 12.5 Ashtown Lad. Fantasticus is currently trading at 13 as well.
Thanks, Barry. Looking
Strong economy, not going a yard.
The big
Not
outsider
eating
looking like he's
life, yeah.
eating
He
life,
pulled
isn't
up
he?
before
The
long.
Wolf, look at him just being hunted out, along with Prime Venture out there as well. A lot of social love for that. Being booted into that was Vintage Clouds. Looks like he's enjoying himself. On the inside, that does look like El Paso Wood on the inside. One of two for David Pipe in the race.
I think we're going to be doling off one down the back straight.
Are we?
Second or third down the
that
back,
didn't
yeah.
look Nice. Yeah.
Okay, after Jersey Beam went, unfortunately. Ask a Honeybee. Look at him. Loving it, look.
Loving it for now.
This is not the Ask a Honeybee I've been backing. I'll tell you, if you remember, he won in, he's considered an Albert Bartlett horse as a hurdler. The engine is there. Fergal O'Brien, what a win this would be.
He was a multiple bumper winner, wasn't he?
He was very good.
Do they often work
just
out
went a
a lot
bit
of those
sour,
horses
didn't
that
he? He's
win
got
stacks?
headgear, hasn't he? But like I say, this sort of weird test might just light him up. A bit like the Wolf, who's out the back as well for the McNeil family. Who's catching your eye then, guys? Hill 16 warming up a bit, Kate.
Yeah, he is, just in mid-division. He's been asked up a few times there by Jack Andrews. He's responded to that. He's come up off some nice strides then. Settle got lovely space around him. It's so funny in these races. You think being mid-division down the middle, you'd be crowded, but actually that's where you tend to have the most room.
Lovely and fanned out. I'm looking for Kitty's Light. He's okay at the moment. Robbie Wilder's impressions.
It's been fun. There's a lot. I always
Thought you were
find
gonna
there's
do
a
Michael
lot.
Caine then.
There's an awful lot to take in these big field chases. I mean, you naturally you're looking towards your two bets.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Next two fences are dolled off, lad.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
going to help Kitty's Light for sure, I think. It's just taking him time to get into a rhythm. The Ferry Master will be helped with that as well, won't he? Win My Wings, looking for her. She's got a bit of running to do. Cool Mix, going to be too keen, isn't he? How do you think Charlie Todd will be feeling right now in a share of the lead?
Well, I think he'd be delighted the fact that he's been able to get out and hold his
Into a
position
rhythm.
so well and get into a good jumping rhythm.
Yeah, marvellous.
You know, the factor now mid-race is whether you can just afford it to settle down a bit to help you conserve enough petrol to see this out from the front end.
They're pressing on a bit here, Kate,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, they are. There's definitely not been that let up we really expected at any point. Chirico Vallis, this is sort of the way he goes, how we saw him winning earlier on in the season as well, and why he ran so well. It was in the classic chase then as well, wasn't it? So, yeah, this is sort of him, pressed on there by one more flurry, sat on his girth as well, and Asker Honeybee is at least sort of in his rhythm for now. But yeah, these front three are really sort of setting each other up there on the front.
That's how you do it.
Win My Wings has also made quite a bit of significant mid-race headway. Was tracking stablemate Kitty's Light, and Rob
Yeah,
James
she's
has
keen,
switched
isn't
her out
she?
And
What, look at her,
Stormy
she's
Judge-
keen.
Stormy Judge made an absolute.
You think she's keen?
howler.
Did he? She is. She's putting his arms out, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I know we tend to differ about this, and maybe had I been your tactical coach throughout, you might have added a Scottish national to your Welsh national.
I didn't ride too many keen horses, I can.
No, you didn't. We always argue about this, me and Posty. Okay, fantastic. Has had a little bit to think about.
Prime
that.
Venture down his nose there.
Stormy Judge is back on the bridle though.
Yeah,
Rob.
that's fine.
It's
It's
fine.
just a little blunder. He didn't lose too much momentum.
Can you make blunders and win this race? We will find out. The Wolf look hunting them out the back. People expecting him to come charging. charging, roaring home, I should say. All right, howling home even would be better. Oscar Honeybee, this would be absolutely
Vallis
odds on.
missed out at the last episode.
Hence he's forgiven the lead then to Oscar
Honeybee
Honeybee
leading them with a circuit to go in the Scottish National.
Never. Connor Brace having the time of his life then. Out they go for the final circuit. Barry, Ashdown Lad keeping closer.
Yeah, but you win my wings. Very short and running, Dave. Into 3.65. So 5-2 win my wings. Just creeping around on the outside there with Rob James. 5.9 Ashdown Lad, the horse you asked about, and it's 8 Kitty's Life. So the one in front is any price really now.
Yeah, they're expecting them to fold then, Barry.
Silly price.
Currently trading at 60, Oscar Honeybee.
Look at Ashdown Lad.
There must have been a slackening of tempo here because from you saying there was loads of space last time round, they're all of a sudden.
I mean, the clock would suggest otherwise. 32 miles an hour, would you believe it? On the final circuit in the Scottish Grand National. And again, the same fence the Ferrymaster didn't like. They've been more patient with him this time around. He's not enjoying it. Look at this Court Master. The Ida Fourth is up there. One more Flurry still going okay. Vintage Clouds. Who's this in the green hat? Oh, of course, Major Dundee.
Major Dundee.
Oh, get it right, Dave Orton. This would be some scenes in Dublin if this was to take it out. Keith Melrose like this one from a long way out as well. The Wolf really catching my eye. Now we're going to expect them to start tiring up front, are we or not?
Yeah, one more Flurry's dropped out rapidly.
Gone.
Yeah,
Stormy
Andrew
Judge
Vallis
still there.
backwards.
Looking for the Fahey pair. History of Fashion goes to the inside.
Oh, Oscar Honeybee.
Major Dundee jumped that really well, didn't he? Tom Cannon, Edwardstone fame.
2-1 win my wings.
Wow, 2-1. She did this in the Ida and she pulled it off.
Yeah,
Look at this, is remarkable. Look, Rob James is carting through the field. Looking for Kitties. Now Kitties, he's starting to warm up.
Been on and off
here we go.
He can be like that.
Stormy Judge isn't enjoying the ground, unlike Fiddux, who is what you call a summer horse. Prime Venture
Prime
is creeping
Venture.
closer. Look at Kitty's Light. This
Kitty
is what we
Light's
wanted
going.
to
He's
see. Turning
motoring
in,
through.
I'm telling you, he's going to fly home.
Fair
Hill
enough, he's
16
been
is
under
there.
pressure for
They
quite
go
a
for
while.
glory. And Oscar Honeybee, look at Win My Wings.
Goodness
Christian
me.
Williams is sensing he's going to get a prize.
Goodness
Ashtown
me.
Lad is going.
Kitties.
Major Dundee is there. Kitties is there. Can he possibly? Wing My Wings, Barry, what price? 3 out.
Whoa.
Oh no, Kitty's got badly hammered by Oscar here. Honeybee. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's probably done him for a win. Major Dundee is still there. The novices are there. But this is whoosh time. Look at this. Unbelievable. This is the creepy bridal horse. Away she goes. The Ida winner. Kitty's Light is going to make it another 1-2. Surely not. He wouldn't have beaten this, but he was
Seconds
hampered
again for
badly.
Kitties, isn't he?
Christian Williams absolutely on fire. Win My Wings absolutely flies it.
Whoa.
This is unbelievable scenes. The Welsh Wizard has taken it out. Kitty's Light finds another stay. Look at Rob James. I was booked last year, he says, as he goes and takes it out. Good luck, Ayrshire, tonight with the Welshman in town. I think Major Dundee was third, Barry, as well. Hats off.
Just a spectacular win again. 9-year-old mare. Rob James, we said it beforehand, his £7 claim negated bar £1. The additional weight that it was carrying for its win in the Eider. But yeah, I don't think he could believe how far clear he was. He looked over each shoulder coming up to the winning line. He couldn't believe it. Trade at 2-1 over the far side when they missed the two fences and just got shorter and shorter, progressively shorter as the further they went, the further away it was going to win. Never traded above 9.8 on the Betfair Exchange. Major Dundee traded at a low of 9.8. There was nothing really traded short and running. Such was the dominance of the winner.
We got the place, Barry, for the lucky 15.
We did. We got the place for the lucky 15. I don't know what it's paid yet, but I'll find out and I'll put it up on Twitter.
Okay. Win My Wings. Who had it? Absolutely fantastic. Let's go down the panel. That was, it's Christian Williams. Come on. He's absolutely taking the mickey, isn't he?
He's brilliant, isn't he? Is there a better target trainer in jumps racing? Is there a better trainer of staying handicap chasers?
That's the question, I think.
Everything he does is just brilliant, and his training is so unique as well. Without the gallops, on the beaches, around the sand dunes, sweetening his horses up. And I know he says it himself that he doesn't have these Cheltenham Festival winning horses to go to war with, but he's doing it the right way. He's proving himself a 1-2 in this race after his 1-2 in the Coral Trophy and then winning the Ida of this mare. He's just unbelievable.
And if there's any justification, end of the season, Sandown, Kitty's Light, who please handicapper, don't be Arsenal. He got hampered there, wouldn't have beaten this stablemate, but he would have finished closer.
Probably helped him getting hampered because it'll mean the mark might
that's
take
it.
less of a knock,
She's some mare though, Rob, isn't she?
Absolutely,
Well,
yeah.
have you ever seen that?
Not 9-year-old doing, yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe the in-running price at about 11-4 at one point.
was the
but
same
it was
in the
very
Ida.
much vindicated.
This is what you get on
Very
Racing
strong
Post Live.
travelling.
You hear the market as it's happening. And in the Ida, before we turned in, again, I said this to Christian this week, it very rarely happens that. She bounces off the ground. He's done the 1-2 again. That's what all the headlines will be. Congratulations to the Yard. They've still got one to come when we go off air. Groom Dadaris as well is bound to go off favourite now. What fun we have had today. Before we go and sign off with Barry, what wins the National? Robbie Wilder's Grand National at Aintree winner.
Santini.
Santini.
Do you want a case?
See that coming. But yeah, I guess Nick Schofield, big ride for him, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like he might have been slightly revitalised a bit by going to Polly Gundry. I mean, perhaps not ideal running the Gold Cup last time, but he was obviously going to be out his depth in a race like that. But he's long sort of shaped as if he wants a marathon test. I think it's the first time he's ever run over more than 3 mile 2. Yeah. And he's obviously well handicapped on past form. I could see him enjoying the probably good soft sort of ground at Aintree. 4 miles, 2.5 furlongs. Yeah, I could see him going well. And he's fairly big price still. So.
The back class of Santini. You're not sure about that one, but it's a National. 40 runners. Who wins? Charlie Poste.
I think any second now is rock solid. I like Noble Yates as well at a big price. Robert Whaley-Cohen, that board him pre-Cheltenham Festival. So.
A 7-year-old in the National. One day it will happen with modifications. Okay, there's 2. Kate Tracy.
Haven't properly gone through it yet. That's my homework this week. But at this stage, with only my skimming read through, is any second now as well.
Okay, £7 more on his back. But you remember when we covered it last year, Barry, he was a massive eye catcher, wasn't he? That would be just. Barry, it's been great fun today. Great energy, loads of viewers. We're nearly at Aintree. Thanks for joining us again, man.
Yeah, thanks, lads. 250 quid we got for the we got returned from the Lucky 15.
Love it, Barry. Great.
Very
Keep
good.
that target on. Barry will be with us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next week. Good work, Mr. Wilders. We have done
Good fun,
extremely
wasn't it?
well. Good fun.
Ooh, sorry, I've got a bet on this Leopardstown race.
Did you win the bob of the heads? Or?
I'll just say I've had 2 winners at Leopardstown the weekender today while this has been on. So
No promotion, like self-promotion.
Well, there isn't.
Yeah.
That's the line everyone wanted to hear, Robbie.
ignore the failed selections at Ayr.
You'll be doing previews for all the big races, though, next week?
Yeah, I'm on. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm at a wedding during the National. So I won't be there.
Who would have a wedding on National Day? I don't know.
I
I only got a
I
big
did
screen
explain
there.
that to the fella, but he said it wasn't his
Fair
decision.
enough.
so-
Good luck at your point to point tomorrow,
Thank you, yeah.
and enjoy
We
Aintree.
were a runner in the Fox Hunters, so yeah, we'll be there.
There you go. Wow. Okay. Name.
Oh, Activity, I'll own a rider, no chance.
Activity?
but
Activity,
yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many
fries?
He's a wonderful jumper, that
Yeah,
lad is.
he was spectacular
Great.
yesterday in Lambourne over the fences. So
Great to have you back,
hopefully it's a good
Posty,
time.
today. Kate, great to have you back.
Yeah, great to be
Godspeed next week.
Wish me luck.
All
yeah,
the best.
looking
We'll be,
forward
if
to
you
it.
follow Kate's social account. Well done to the guys in the gallery. Kieran, Dan and Dave. I've been Dave Orton. Aintree time next week. If you were with Win My Wings, go and fly.